TSF Entertainment.
And we are back at it. TSF Entertainment in the building, Retro CG, Jack of Jordans. And we are here. Boy, this is going to be a rough one. This is going to be a
It
rough
is.
one. It's going to be a
It
rough
is.
one.
We're gonna get through it though.
We're going to get through it. Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, Season 5. It's the final season. It is episode 507. Penultimate means second to last, with the name of the episode. I need DJ Fresh, Your Highness, to go ahead and get on in here because I can't wait to hear his thoughts. I can't wait to hear his thoughts. Shout out to everybody that is in the chat, starting us off with a $10 super chat from DeMarcus. We appreciate that. RIP, sorry, Marvin, in my Joyce Thomas voice. A day late, a dollar short, Marvin. Phenomenal job, London Brown, playing Marvin. Marvin passed the torch to Kanan, Jukebox, and Breeze in this episode. Not sure if I agree with him passing the torch.
I wouldn't say he passed it.
But yes, phenomenal job to London Brown. He did a
Excellent.
great job in the role. All right, let me just go ahead and say what's up to everybody else. Thank y'all for coming on in. Now make sure y'all hit the like button as you are coming on in. Get settled in. Get you a drink or two because we got some things to talk about. If you're listening in on Spotify or if you are watching from the website, come on over to the YouTube so you can drop a like, drop a comment, hype the video up so we can get out there in the algorithm. Jack, what did you think about this episode? As if I don't know already.
Oh my God. I did not like this episode, man. It was uh, out of all the episodes, it is probably not gonna be a popular opinion. Out of all the episodes, to me, this was one of the most rushed and probably one of the worst watch for me. Now, because it's the worst watch for me doesn't mean that it was the worst show I've ever seen. But this was the worst watch for me this episode because it was too much going on too fast. I didn't like it.
What's up, LB? That's a good question. Who's going to tell Juke? That's a question. And you're right. Yeah, we're gonna pull one out for Marv. We definitely gonna pull one out for Marv. Yeah, that's a very good question. We'll get to that one in a little bit because
Yeah,
in my opinion, I don't think she ever finds out.
I don't think she ever
Um,
finds out either.
or actually, I got a couple of theories on that. We're gonna talk about some of those. I do agree that I feel like the pacing in this episode was a little fast, but then again, all of the episodes were kind of like that. The pacing was kind of
Hmm.
moving a little fast. I enjoyed the episode until the end. I think all of us pretty much share that same sentiment that we enjoyed um, the episode up until the end. What's up, Alex? How you doing? That's right. Support gaming. Hit that like button. Appreciate that. Um, I'm torn between an 8.5 and a 9.5 on the episode, but there's some
Hmm.
other things besides what happened to Rock that we kind of have issue with. So we'll go ahead and get on into the episode. Um, all right, let's jump on in here and see what this thing all about. Mm, man, Marvin. All right, we're gonna get through this. Facing pressure from all sides, Rock struggles to maintain control as alliances crumbles, and Kanan's growing ruthlessness threatens his relationships. Fuck Kanan and his nappy ass head. I don't even care about getting demonetized on this video right here because there is going to be a lot of use of profanity in this recap. The episode starts off and Marvin, he is in bed, and in the opening scene he's laying in bed, and he's kind of reflecting on, well, he's continuing his reflection on where things are at currently in his life. And
Hmm.
so Kanan's narration kind of explains what Marvin is doing here. um so Kanan's narration says, when you're hustling, you ain't thinking about nobody but you. You tell yourself that it's for your people, your family, but it's not. It's always about you.
Hmm.
But when things get ill, you start thinking about your people. You worry about whether or not they're going to pay for the things you did, whether they're going to die behind your bullshit. So you don't sleep, you don't eat, and you damn near don't even breathe. You keep asking yourself the same shit over and over again. What the fuck did I do? So this is exactly what we have seen Marvin being going through these last pretty much all season. Ever since he lost Lou, he's been on
Hmm.
this downward spiral trying to discover himself and trying to find purpose in everything that they have been doing. Um, and it has been a struggle for him. When we get scenes like this with characters, we already know that their time is up, that their
Yes.
time is coming to an end. So in this episode, we knew that Marvin was probably not going to be with us much longer. However, what we could not figure out was whether or not he was going to jail or if he was going to be erased in a shootout with Breeze and Kanan. Like, we knew that Marvin's time with us was short. Why is he still here? Why do we have another episode with Stefano?
I don't understand why we keep bringing him back either. Like at this point, can we please just take him too? Can we just
And
please just take
for real, he is the one that is responsible. Like, you over here with Hafiz right now, offering your condolences about Rock and Marvin putting down his right hand man, but you orchestrated all this. You orchestrated all this, playing this little puppet master, running to everyone, crying about Rock. You set this man up for this to happen to him. He was collateral damage because you went over there and convinced him, damn near strong arm him into cutting Rock's supply off. You did not think that they were going to retaliate?
which he has no reason overall. Like for real, the reason that you got the little stabby stab from the other mob boss is because y'all both was playing on both sides of the field trying to get the other mob boss out of the way. So I don't understand it. Like what? Let's get rid of him.
Okay, so my question to you is, how do we get rid of him at this point? Do he go to jail? Do Rock put him down?
To be honest, what I would like to see is Rock to put him down before she go ahead and ride off into the sunset, however she decides, or however the writer decides to ride off to the sunset because he's been more of a pain than she ever has been in his, you know, at this point. I would love to see Rock go ahead and put him down and then ride off to the sunset.
Yeah, Kanan is definitely a psychopath, a sociopath. Yeah, I agree with all that. So a lot of the comments are comparing Tariq and Kanan to each other, and definitely Kanan is the worst. What's up, OG Bobby? Okay, so let me ask you this. And this is a question for everyone. At this point, is it safe to say that Kanan is by far the worst character in the Power universe? Period. The
Yes,
grimiest, the worst
ye-
character that we have ever had in the Power
yes.
universe.
You got to look at what he's done so far, or who he done in so far.
His whole family,
Juke, Uncle Marv, Uncle Lou, and Sean.
and we still don't know what Rock's fate is. We still don't know what Rock's fate is, and that ain't including all the other people that he took down along. And don't forget about Sean, his son.
And Sean. That's what I'm saying. And Sean,
And
like
don't
he's the
forget about
worst.
all the other people that he took out. Rest in peace for the little old lady that lived in Bree's apartment. That he snuffed out with the Jesus Love pillow. I mean, Kanan is probably the worst character in the Power
But
universe
he
that
ain't
we've
take out
ever seen.
Tariq though, huh? He ain't take out Tariq though, huh? Ain't that something?
They should have took each
Ain't
other
that
out.
something?
They took each other out.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Stefano tells Hafiz, now he was like, oh, I offer my condolences, but Rock's a cancer, and I told you that Rock was this, Rock was that. But I tell you what, I'm gonna do you a solid. I'll take her out for you. Don't worry, let me take care of this for you. And I'm like, Stefano, you ain't gonna do shit because you've been saying that you're gonna take Rock out all this time and you ain't busted move yet. So all
Yeah,
this
because
is
Pino be
lip
on his
service.
ass.
Yeah. Welcoming in DJ Fresh, Your Highness. Come on, tell us about what you thought about this episode.
Nah, because I'm gonna get pissed off again.
And we all pissed, man. We all
We
pissed
all
together.
pissed. We all there.
Man, we all in here going ham. You ain't seen these comments over here. We all
Yeah,
in here
we
feeling
all
some
there.
type of way.
Especially for one thing that they did on a certain scene that annoyed the living hell out of me. But I'll speak on that once we get to that certain scene. It was one scene that I was like, they ain't never did that before in the history. As far as I can remember, I'm like, y'all have never shot a scene like this before, and y'all chose to do it now. So I was
I think you
retro.
talking about the same thing we were talking about.
Yeah, I might be. So,
Yeah,
but when we
yeah.
get to that scene, I'm a touch
We'll
on that.
see. Cause Jack don't uncover something that I got a pet peeve about. So we gonna talk about
Yeah,
that. I wish
yeah,
I could show the video on here, but it'll shut down the live. But God, I want to show the video so
yeah.
bad. Rock and Marvin are meeting up in the park, and they have received a phone call from Flossie to meet them there. Rock is asking Marvin, "Do you know what she called us here for?" And Marvin was like, "Nah, she didn't say. She just said she needed to meet up." Rock ask him once again, "Are you hitting that?" And Marvin like, "How many times I gotta tell you? Nah, we just cool. We just talk. Nah." And Rock was like, "I ain't got no judgment. I mean, if you are hitting that, I was trying to see if we could use that to our advantage to get us out of whatever it is that she called us down here for." And at that time, Flossie walks up. She kind of greets them, and then she just jumps straight to the point. Like, ain't no need
Mhm.
of beating around the bush. Your son broke into my place last night. I don't know if he was there to unalive me or scare me, but he told me that he swapped out the product, that put down the judge, and he also told me that you knew about it. And then she looked at Marvin and said, "Did you know?" Marvin ain't say nothing. So she's like, yeah, we done. And I've already let Pino know that we done. And that's that. And she's like, Marvin, I'm gonna miss our conversations. I really enjoyed them. Marvin says, me too. She gives Rock that evil look like, you bitch, and gives Marvin a kiss on the cheek. And Rock go to try to beg and plead again. That's another thing I did not like in this episode. Y'all got my girl down bad enough as it is, but y'all got her out here ripping and running and begging for any and everybody to help her. That ain't Rock. That's just not Rock.
Rock got on her knees.
Yeah, she got on her knees, and she always had said that she would never get on her knees for anyone.
Hmm.
We saw for the first time Rock getting on her
And she
knees.
got on me when we get to that scene. I couldn't stand that. That made my
Yeah,
stomach hurt.
yeah, 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 yeah.
When we get to that scene, we'll talk about
Please don't get a certain somebody started on that, because a certain somebody
it.
will
My
get started
God.
about that. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about that silk perm, um,
Yeah, my
over there
God.
at the hotel. I know
Don't
exactly what
do
you're
that.
talking about.
Why would y'all
That
do that?
that pissed me off too. uh Floozy tells Rock that listen, there ain't no talking about this situation. Like, the only reason why you still standing right now is because of your brother. And Rock and Marvin are left standing there in their own shit. Flossie walks off and she was like, nah, we down bad. And she was like, she looked at Marvin, she tell Marvin, your girl just screwed us. And Marvin was like, no, we screwed ourselves. And
Mhm.
so, like, they should have been honest with her. They should.
Yep.
That's
Mhm.
mistake number one.
Yep.
First of all, I think me and Fresh talked about this one time before too, is that they should have told, when she got into bed with Pino, when she got into bed with Flossie, she should have told them then about her conflicts with Kanan.
Yep.
And she should have especially told them after he swapped that product out. Like, that
Mhm.
was not something that she should sit on. But going back to Marvin's point, that everything she do creates a mess for everyone else in trying to protect Kanan.
Yep.
Yep.
That's true.
Gotta handle it on
Awesome.
her own.
And if you
She
watch
shouldn't
the
have.
predictions, we called this. So this is one of them.
Go ahead,
We
Fresh, talk your shit.
we caught what, five? I think we had five of them, about five of them right, and we called this one that it was going to be a wrap. Once she found out that Kanan was her son, I knew it was a wrap after that.
Well, that's a given. Given the trajectory of the season
Yeah.
and the path that Rock has been on, we knew that the minute that this came out, that this was going to be the end of her business dealings. And I guess in this case right here, we did not need to see the conversation between Kanan and Flossie, because Flossie gave us that information that we didn't need to see. So when we have
Yeah.
scenes like this, I'm cool with not seeing what happened because it's talked about. So this was not something we needed. Rock is telling Marvin, sending Marvin on a unalive mission by
Mhm.
telling him to go over there and light up that pawn shop, and everybody that's in the pawn shop, and bring Kanan to her. And Marvin's like, so you want me to put this person down? You want me to put that person down? What about Kanan? And she's like, what? He was like, yeah, if Kanan's over there at that pawn shop, he gonna get it too.
He gonna get this work too.
He gonna get
Mhm.
this work too. And here she goes, starting to, Kanan's just, I get it, it's your
Kanan's just
son.
a kid.
I get it, he's just a kid.
I don't like that either.
This man has blown your whole spot up and torn your world upside down, inside out, and taken your brother out. And you're sitting here justifying all of this as him being a kid. He's a
He's an
kid out here
evil
doing
demon
adult
child.
things, so he can get
He's
these
an
adult
evil
ends.
demon child. Yes. I don't want to hear that. And
That's
I
true,
like
but
Marv Counter though. I like Marv Counter because he was like, well, what about D Wiz? What about Scrap? What about the who would you put down, at the pool?
yeah, but I kind of get where Rock is coming from with that, because just like she said to him back, like, would you do the same thing to Juke?
She
Like if it
did
was
say
you,
that.
and
You do the
yeah,
same thing
like
for Juke.
it's your child, so it's of course he's a demon seed, but at the same time, it's like, yo, your love for your child's never gonna go away. So I understood it, but at the same time, it was like, yeah, he gotta go. Like, you should just went on ahead and. But I think if she did, she probably would never be able to live with herself. So I think that's why they wrote it where, like, she can't take him out, because she would never be able to live with herself knowing that she was the one that took out her child.
And I guess so, because it's what you call unconditional love.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we just as individuals, not even with parents, but just with people that we love, sometimes you can love a person that is not good for you. Sometimes you can love a person unconditionally, even though you know that they're bad for you. So this is a very similar situation with Rock, even though Kanan is doing everything he can to usurp her. But at the end of the day, she still looks at him as her child, and this is my child, and I can't be the one to do this. But at the end of the day, you also running a criminal organization, and your decisions are hurting your business, and you're allowing your op to continue to hurt your business. There's other ways she could have dealt with her Kanan problem without unaliving him. But the fact that she chooses to do nothing about it is what pisses me off. She chooses to do nothing about Kanan whatsoever. The closest we saw her trying to deal with her Kanan problem was when she put that gat in his book bag, hoping that that would scare him straight, hoping that law enforcement would deal with the problem instead of her having to deal with the problem. And I think that was part of the problem because her decision not to deal with him directly. And shout out to Pretty Girl Loves Trap content. I was watching her live earlier today, and she made a very good point that I want to emphasize because I agree with that point. A lot of this could have been resolved, or a lot of this could have been a different pathway for Rock had she sat down and had some conversations with Kanan, explaining her movement, explaining why I want you to put Howard down, why I'm doing this, why I'm doing that, why did I have to put D-Wiz down. She tried to, but her approach was not the right approach to get Kanan to understand why she made the decision or why she was forced to make the decision to put D-Wiz down because of his actions. Like, if she would have had more conversations with Kanan and let Marvin and Lou off the leash and let them be uncles to this boy, like, you let this boy be a spoiled brat and he's turned out to be your biggest nightmare.
I was gonna say that. I think it was. I think what she said, what you would have done if this was Juke. I don't think Juke would have went down this path because of who Marvin is, and and it is all this is just kind of like just guessing, or whatever. Just looking at the character though, Rock just seemed like she was trying to be more of a friend to Kanan a little bit than she was actually parenting him, and was like leading him blind into whatever it is that she was getting into and he was getting into. So he just had to play the guessing game on everything. And 100% right. I think if the conversations would have happened a little bit more, then they probably wouldn't be in this position.
I appreciate the $10 super chat, DeMarcus, but I really don't understand the comment. Do any of y'all understand the point he's trying to emphasize?
Well, he's saying that anybody that, from what I got from anybody that got a Cheryl and jacket on, is pretty much going to be unaligned next. Lou had, well, Lou always kind of rock Cheryl and jackets though. I don't know. I think that's what he hit at though.
If it is, it definitely will be by no damn Tremont. As soft as Tremont is, if that was the case, he could have went on ahead and took her out when they met up. Like, I'm gonna
No,
tell
I
you right
definitely
now, if that happens, I am not watching Origins because I will be that to me that will be the stupidest thing. You gonna give a C-list character to take out Rock? Like, he's not a reoccurring character like Stefano or Pino, anybody like that. Like, we know that Tremont is in Origins. That part we know. But if y'all give a C-list character to take out somebody like Rock, when Unique never took out Rock,
When Stefano couldn't take her out.
Stefano
Yes.
couldn't take her out. Like,
Ronnie
these
couldn't
are,
take her out.
yeah, these
Snap
are
and Pop
high
couldn't take her
people.
out. Yeah.
And y'all leave it up to it. Yeah, I can guarantee you that I'm like, man, forget I'm not watching Origins, bro, for real.
Well, me and Fresh are already having a hard time transitioning over to Origins, and I hate that they did this. If they would have let Marvin's character transition over into Origins and him be erased there, we could live with that a little bit better. But they're doing the exact same thing that they did in OG Power, where they're taking a character that we hate from another show and starting another show with that and expect that we're going to root for that character over there in that show. Like, we're gonna go into Origins having issues with Kanan. And the fact that we've got to deal with Kanan for another 23 years before he gets unalive, Origins is going to be a hard watch for me. It's going to be a hard watch.
And it's a 10-year jump, too.
It's going to be a hard one for me. All right, so we all know that Rock is spiraling at this point, and she questions Marvin, like, yeah, if this was Juke, you do the same thing. And she asks Marvin, like, do you really want to take out your nephew? That's what you telling me? And he was like, look, I don't want no parts of this, but I'm too deep into this to walk away from it now. I'm going to follow your lead wherever that takes us. So again, Marvin is still showing his sister loyalty, showing his sister respect, even though he doesn't agree with her actions and her decision making at this point. However, he is torn in between his own conflictions with this situation and versus what Rock's leadership style is. And the leadership style is what's spiraling him out of control. Who want this? Who want it?
All she says, you ain't gonna do nothing to you, Jarita. So I don't even know what you tripping for. I went over there because I got the neck from you first. So I figured she taught you. So I was gonna see was her neck just as good. I was wrong. So I pulled out my gat and she just got to get them running her mouth. She ain't even gonna touch you. So just leave me alone with it, Jarita. I ain't got time for all this noise. I'm trying to process how I'm gonna do something stupid again. I gotta make people sure. I gotta make people see that I'm down for the cause. I just wanted the neck. I don't know what else you want from me, Jarita. Just the neck.
And then with that, fuck you too, bitch, and put her ass out. But what I can't understand is what she's scared for. Like he said, I kind of agree with what he said to her, but I guess he manipulated her into thinking that everything was going to be okay, or she was doing the right thing, or she was helping the cause, or whatever the case may be. But she's living in regret now, or she's living in fear, thinking that something's going to happen for her helping Kanan. She's like basically having this conversation with him, letting him know that, hey, I didn't know that you was gonna go over there and do that, and Flawsy is dangerous, and she unalive people, and she worried about what's gonna happen to her. And of course, Kanan like, I just went over there to scare her. I wanted her to stop working with Rock. And all that. His obsession is just as unhealthy as Rock's obsession with protecting him. Both of them are in the exact same position, just on opposite parallels.
Yeah. Nah, but I can understand why she was scared though. Like she said, like
she need to be scared with what she laying up with. That's what she need to be scared of.
Well, yeah, true, but she don't know what Kanan into, because Kanan done already lied to her, said that he's like he not in the day-to-day operations. He just like a overseer. So the fact that she went over to someone that's connected in the mob and pulled out a strap on her, she like, okay, you think this is gonna go by quietly, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. Like, if she's not going to come after you, she's probably going to come after me, because I'm the one who set her up. So I think that's why she has so much fear. I was just trying to figure out why Kanan was being so aggressive. Evil to her. Like, that was the part that threw me off. I was like, bro, are you, whatchamacallit? Dexter, I don't think so yet.
I do. So Dexter beat me. Dexter beat me to the point. Dexter beat me to the point because I was thinking about this a little bit. And I think it was me and Juggernaut, me and M2 was talking about this yesterday, as a matter of fact. So I'm still trying to figure out, why do we have to have a time jump from Raising Kanan to Origins? So that means everything that happens here in episode 8 needs to be the conclusion. If we're not going to have anything that roll over into Origins, if we're not going to have anything from Raising Kanan roll over into Origins, that means all the conclusion of everything with the characters here in Raising Kanan needs to happen in next week's episode. For I can't understand how they'll continue some of these stories over in Origins if there's an 8 or 10 year time jump. So I have a little problem with that. But if he puts her out in this instance right here, they're through. Unless they reconnect later on in Origins, or my theory is she comes back in Origins with child already.
I was gonna say, I can see that.
Like, she's pregnant right now, don't even know she's pregnant.
That's true.
And maybe she has the baby off camera, and she brings the baby back to Kanan and say, this is your child. Because remember what Kanan said back in OG Power, and I know that a lot of these things that Kanan said in OG Power, I'm not stupid, I'm not naive. I know a lot of these were throwaway lines. I know that this was 20 years ago, damn near, well, at least 10 years ago when we had OG Power. I know that we didn't have Raising Kanan, but keep in mind, this is a prequel that was produced and written after the original show. So they have the opportunity to go back and use the original Power as source material to tie all these things in together. But remember, in OG Power, Kanan told, I can't remember who he told, I think it was Juke or Tariq, or I think it was Tariq. He told Tariq when he unallowed Sean that he didn't know if that was his child or not. He never took a DNA test. So I wonder if she comes back to him later on in Origins with child and said, this is your baby. It'll be interesting to see how they reconnect. All right, we got a couple of super chats in here we need to get to.
Because I'm trying to think, what year was Power? Like what?
2014, I want to say. I don't know. Yeah. It was the year that we watched it is 2014. I don't know what year.
Okay, then she definitely. Yeah, so I'm thinking we won't see it in Kanan. We're gonna see her pregnant, or matter of fact, probably already had her son in Origins. Probably already had Sean,
That's what I'm thinking.
because in OG Power, Sean was only like 21.
Yeah, he was young. He was a young
Yeah,
boy.
he was super young. So okay.
Yeah, young boy. All right. Thank you, Jamarcus. $5 super chat. Kanan is treating Jarita just like Rock treated Symphony. Symphony cared about Rock and Kanan. Yes, he did. Um, Ron, thank you for the $9.99 super chat. I kind of wish that we got a flashback scene of some of those dirty cops at least picking up Famous and how they unalived him.
Same
Because
here.
at the end of season 3, he
too.
was in custody. We talked about that. And
Yeah,
you are
we talked about
absolutely
that.
right. That this don't make sense.
It
Like
don't make sense.
why they would roll up on him. How did Snap and Pop even find out that he was talking to the cops? Like me and Jack was just talking about this off backstage. Like a lot of these things we wish that we could have had additional
Yes.
conversations to tie some of this
Yes.
together, because we spent a lot of time that whole season wondering what happened to Famous, and even now, even in the final season, just about every episode there has been a conversation about Famous, but yet we never gotten a flashback as to how I guess they took him out of custody and unalived him. Kind of similar to what they did with Crystal. Remember Crystal? They picked her up off of the bus, and instead of taking her downtown, they took her to that. And see, we ain't said nothing about Crystal. We just don't care about
We didn't even
Crystal
mention
at
Crystal
all.
no
Oh
more.
We
yeah,
ain't
that's
mention
right.
Crystal at all. We don't care that she gone. Appreciate that super chat, and I agree with that comment. All right, so he put her ass on up out of there, and he was like, "Yeah, this wasn't nothing anyway. I ain't had no feelings for you. This was." I think he capped. He capped right
Yeah.
here. He liked that girl. He spent money on her and everything, and laid up with her and all this stuff. He cared about her, but
Yeah, I
of
think
course,
he's
because she
focused on.
left, now you know, it's like I don't want to be bothered with you now because you left. Got another $5 super chat from DeMarcus. Kenny will eliminate Tremont. B. Tremont will eliminate Rock. At the birth of Sean will humanize Kanan and Power Origins. I don't think nothing humanizes Kanan.
Yeah, I don't think nothing on this planet gonna humanize,
You sure do
domesticate
put a
this
lot of
man.
faith in Tremont. I mean, I get that Tremont is being brought back in Origins, but I think that I'm going to tell you what Tremont's purpose is going to be for in Origins. And he's going to suffer the same fate as all the rest of the Connect.
He ain't gonna be nothing
Tremont
more
is
than a
going to be their
supplier.
Connect. That's all he's going to be.
Yeah,
a
it's just gonna
supplier.
be a connect. Because
Yes.
remember, at a certain point, Juke goes to DC. We already know Tremont is down in be more in the DC area. Like he's gonna be nothing more than a new connect. Like that's literally what it's gonna be.
Yep, Jarita didn't show up there, and you know what? That's something too that we kind of talked about. We never really got conclusion because other than Jarita calling Kanan up and asking, "Have you seen Sean?" Sean hadn't came home. We never saw any other follow up with Jarita in OG Power. Like, you know,
Nothing.
she never came and looked for Sean. She never had questions about Sean's death, and damn sure she wasn't gonna show up to collect Kanan's ashes. So that's right. That's a good point right there that nobody else except for Eric Stark, which was Tariq, that showed up and collected Kanan's ashes.
Yo,
And I
what
would
up,
have flushed
Lamar?
this shit down the toilet. This is something else we didn't need. We didn't need this.
Nope.
Nor do we care. Nor do we care. And the crazy part about it is I don't know what's getting ready to happen with Garcia. I don't know if Garcia sealed his fate by he going up in here and talking to IA and him being such a big advocate for Captain Baptiste. They were trying to get him. Well, first of all, they asked him. We had several witnesses that said that you and Captain Baptiste was having a heated discussion at his retirement party. Can you tell us what that was about? He lie up real good and say that it was Captain Baptiste owed him some money on a bet that they had, and you know he was teasing him about that. And then it was like, well, you do realize Baptiste was under investigation for corruption. He was like, no, I didn't. He was like, Baptiste was he was a good cop, he was a good man, and he was good to me. So the fact that he didn't have anything negative to say, they may shift their focus towards Garcia. That's the only thing I can think of why this is of any importance to us. We don't care. We have no reason to care. But if you look at the casting for Origins, we have Detective Garcia's son is going to be part of law enforcement in Origins. And I'm like, why? I don't know why we needed this. We didn't need this.
That's
I mean, we didn't, but I think they only wrote it because of we just now finding out about what Captain Baptiste was doing. So they want to, you know what I'm saying, just try to close that storyline. To me, honestly, I don't even think
It
we
was
probably
closed
even
when he
gonna
put that
see
bang bang to his head.
Garcia on the next episode for real, for real. I mean, and if we do, I think it might be either one or two things. Either he about to leave the force and maybe go to another department, lead the force altogether, or he end up taking Captain Batiste's spot. Like, but I think that's all. It was only just to show, like, just to close that storyline that what the feds told him was true, that they was IA was investigating him for being a dirty cop, which we all found out he was a dirty cop, and he was the one who served up fame to Snaps and Pop. So I think that's the only reason why we got this scene. It was just something just to close it off.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because if you remember the detective Ping that went in before them, if I remember that, I think that's his name, went in there before them and you know what I'm saying, and talked to him. So I think that's all it was. At first, I thought they were going to ask him about the whole fame thing, because remember he met with that detective, and I felt like that's why they were asking him in here. It wasn't until they mentioned Captain Batiste's name. I thought it had something to do with him meeting the detective at the bar, inquiring about that famous case, and that's what they were going to ask him about. Like, why was he inquiring about it?
Oh, okay.
But until they said Captain Batiste's name, I was like, oh, okay, never mind.
Okay, so on IMDb, which we can take that with a grain of salt. However,
Facts, Dexter. Facts.
right here, Detective Garcia's son. Why? Why do we need him? What do we need him for? But the crazy part about it is Detective Garcia is not credited. It is part of the cast for Origins. So I'm just wondering if anything is going to happen or if this is going to change. Keep my eye on this and see where the story is going to take us, where Garcia is concerned. But they got a lot of cast credited. I mean, with 18 episodes, I'm quite sure they're going to have a lot of different characters that we're going to see. But Garcia was not one that I expected to have back in the Power universe again. I thought that we would see the end of him in this episode right here. All right, so Garcia leaves his meeting with IE, and that's that. We don't really need anything else out of Garcia other than what he does later on in the episode when he goes and gives Marvin and Juke the update. That's it. We don't need nothing else from Garcia. Snap and Pop must can't afford. They like being at this dingy dive bar that they always sit up in. I can't stand these two. They summon Breeze to come down here, and Pop always sitting there looking all mean and nasty looking all the time. She's like a true bitch.
God damn.
She do. I mean, look at her. Look at her countenance on her face, and she looks like a true bitch. They come in. Breeze comes in, and they tell Breeze that, look, we just got word from Stefano that the Thomases are up for grabs, that they are no longer being protected. And Stefano wants us to do the work, but you and Kanan are going to do the work. I need you to put down Rock and Marvin. And they want Breeze to be the one to put down Rock because they feel like Kanan is not going to be able to go through with putting down Rock. Breeze's response, was I the only one that found Breeze's response actually surprising? I always thought Breeze always with the shit, but Breeze was actually like, that's a big thing that you asking right there. Like, that's that man family.
Right. Yeah.
And Snap was like, well, we his family now. Like, he looking at them sideways. It almost felt like he even wanted to ask, like, what is your deal with Rock? Because he even said, like, Rock's out of business right now. She's like not like a threat to us, like, right now. So, like, what is, because you know how Breeze feel. Breeze don't like just going out here unaliving people if it ain't about this work. At this point, Rock ain't no threat to them anymore. So he don't even see the point of why they're requesting this.
He
And
sees it
this
more
is what I
personal.
have an issue with, is that again, we know that there's some deep rooted hatred for Rock from Snap and Pop, but we just don't have the clarity that we need to understand why they've been setting up all these plays against Rock. Um, was I the
Shoot,
only
at
one
this
that felt Breeze's response was a little off-putting?
nah, I was actually, because the only reason why it didn't shock me because he said the same thing to Kanan when they were at the diner. Like, there's a difference between personal and business, so which one is it? So I think he felt nothing more like, yo, this is personal. Like you said, he said that Rock's out of the game, so why are we even entertaining her or whatnot? So I think that's what he looked at it as, like, because we all know, like, we seen him with the chessboards, and he told Kanan, like, he's real meticulous on how he moves, so he just wondered, like, yo, why are we doing it? Don't make any sense.
Um,
Mm,
so I hear a lot of people saying that Breeze is not going to be in Origins. I don't see how he cannot be in Origins.
Right.
He's part of that story. He's
I mean,
part of Tommy and Ghost's story, so he has to be in Origins. Now, whether or not he's in Origins on season one, he may have been booked for something else at that time. But I think at some point, Breeze, or maybe they are, I think they're holding off on some of the other characters from
mhm,
Raising Kanan, announcing whether or not they're going to be in Origins because I guess they don't want to spoil it for us.
mhm.
But I don't see, knowing the story that we know, I don't see how we could have Origins without Breeze being in it.
I mean, the only thing I could see is, like you said, either they're holding it out or we're going to get a flashback scene of Breeze and, like, him introducing them into the game, and then the whole focal point in the story is just going to be about Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy. Like, I don't think we're going to see Breeze as like how we see him now in Origins, because I think they wanted to be centered around those three. So I think if we do, it's going to either be like a backflash of like when he introduced him to the game, and then they took him out, or we're just gonna see him like here and there in episodes or whatnot if he is in orders. But I kind of think, like Retro said, they're kind of just hiding stuff. Like, prime example, like this season, everybody swore up and down Rock was gone, and we kept saying Rock was not gone because we saw her in the pictures for this season, but we haven't seen that many pictures for Origins yet, so we don't really know exactly like who's in Origins beside the three characters. Kanan. We know Jarita's there. Tommy, the guy that plays Ghost. The young Angela, and that's about it. Like, we don't
And
really
Tasha.
know. Oh yeah, and
Tasha.
Tasha. Yeah. So like, yeah, I think they're just kind of holding off on certain stuff.
The only way that I think that we would see Teresa in next week's episode, I know she's casted for Origins, so I know that she's going to be in Origins, yes. However, the only purpose I could see them bring her back in next week's episode when they're trying to close out storylines versus opening storylines
Mhm.
is if Pino, Floozy, and Stefano all go to jail because Rock Tail, and they approach her to be their new supplier. But I think that's what they have trademark for. So I don't see a purpose for her being in next week's episode unless she's tied to the rest of the Italians that are getting ready to go down because Rock gonna tell something. That's the only way I see that being of substance.
Garcia be a loose end, but you can't stop the problems, and he knows he. Nah, because at this point, like, it wouldn't make sense for them to take him out. Like, they kind of Juke done already got like the info that they wanted
Mhm.
out of him. So yeah, nah, it wouldn't be a loose end. And plus, he gave him the money back. So like, yeah, nah, I don't think it'll be. I don't think that's gonna be a loose end.
Exactly, Alex. Breeze did show some good principle here. So yes, this is a point. We don't know if Ghost unalive Breeze early or late in the game. But here's one thing: we
True.
haven't even been introduced to the character yet. So
Yeah.
we have to spend some time with Ghost and Tommy in order for this to happen. So for me, I can see this being like something that happens later in Origins. I think that we have to spend a whole season with Breeze and Kanan running because right now they got to set their operation back up because keep in mind they took a major hit in this episode too, and they're going to take a even major hit next week. So I'll get into that a little bit later when we get to those scenes. But I think that we need Breeze's character around a little bit longer before we eliminate him.
Yeah.
I think that's going to happen a little bit later in Origins. I don't think that's going to happen early on. I think that needs to happen season 2, season 3, or something into Origins. But I can't see that happening early on in Origins.
Yeah.
Because we need to see him mentoring Tommy and Ghost just like he's been mentoring Kanan. So we need to see him spend time with those characters. We need to see where Ghost presents these ideals to Breeze that Breeze shoots down. Because remember, the story that Ghost told Tariq was that Breeze was getting in the way of his future, and he went to Breeze one more time and tried to get Breeze to change up how they were doing business and everything. Ghost was ready to evolve at that point. Right now, we haven't even seen Ghost as a corner boy yet, so I think we need some time with Breeze and the rest of the crew in order for this to take place.
I was about to say, to be honest, we might not even see Breeze till season 2 for real, for real. Now that you said that.
Well, it depends on where in the story do they pick up. If we're picking up 5-8 years later, then maybe at this point, Kanan and Breeze's operation is humming.
Yeah.
They humming. And so now they're at the peak of their success, per se. And so now we see Ghost and Tommy as what we kind of saw Kanan and Breeze as, starting out. So they may be the upstarts. So it just all depends. I'm not mad at Garcia at all on this episode. He could have drugged Baptiste's name and he could have set Marvin up for conviction. I agree with that, Bobby. You're right.
Yeah, I agree with that, Bobby.
I agree with that because he actually could have threw a lot of dirt on Baptiste's name for him to get a promotion. So he actually was G on that. I agree with that. I hope that we get a post-credit scene. I was thinking about that too because I hope we do. We need a post-credit scene. We need a post-credit scene. If the post-credit scene don't do anything but like I did in OG Power, setting us up for raising, and I don't even understand why they showed us that post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Because Ghost and Tommy were in Raising Kanan. But we need a post-credit scene that at least shows Ghost and Tommy with Kanan and Breeze, or at the very least with Kanan, Ghost, and Tommy. We need a post-credit scene that's setting us up for what to expect in Origin. So yes, I agree. We do need a post-credit scene.
Maybe could that post-credit scene be them taking out Breeze?
Nah, like I said, we need.
I know. I'm just throwing that out there. Just
that would be bad writing and just lazy writing if they did that. We haven't spent enough time with Breeze's character. He's only been here for like 8 episodes.
Yeah.
8 episodes is what we've spent with Breeze. Have we spent enough time with that character? That we waited 10 years to spend 8 episodes with him? I think we need more time with Breeze's character in order to see all of the things that they remember. Tommy had a different POV of Breeze. Ghost had a different POV of Breeze. Kanan had a different POV of Breeze. So we need to see all of his interactions with those characters in order for us to have the time we needed with Breeze. These 2 old snakes right here, they always up to something. All right, Juke is at the pizzeria, as Fresh said in our prediction.
Yep,
Juke's at the pizzeria waiting for Kanan. Obviously, she paged Kanan, beat me 911. Come on down here to the pizzeria. I got some intel for you. Kanan come in. What do you say, Damon? Give me my Kanan voice.
Wait, which part? When he had the conversation, or after she told him?
Yeah, I thought you didn't want anything to do with me anymore. She's like, I don't.
I thought you said you wouldn't. I thought you said you wouldn't fucking with me no more. Now you all here, you want to assist. I can only worry about niggas. I can only worry about the ones that's alive.
She's like, nigga, I don't want no assist from you. I'm just trying to let you know I know who put down your best friend. This your best friend. And this the crazy thing I don't want. You know what? I just figured it out. It just hit me like a ton of bricks. The reason why he does not want to have a reaction to learning that Snap and Pop put Famous down.
I know where you're going.
Means that he would have to admit that he was wrong about his mama. and
Mm-hmm.
all the things that he's done
Yep.
and all of the anger, even with unaliving Uncle Lou. Because remember, he went over there to put Rock down because of it. You killed my best friend. You
And
unalived my
Crystal.
girlfriend. So him reacting to this means he's going to also have to confront the fact that he's been wrong all this time about his mom.
Yep.
So he'd rather hold on to this lie that he's perpetuated for himself in order to face the reality that, damn, I was wrong.
Yep.
It's kind of messed up. It's kind of a missed opportunity to find out the real issue Snap and Pop had with Rock before unaliving them. Yes, it's the same thing with Ronnie. Yes, you're on point, and thank you for the $4.99 super chat. Yes, he's stubborn. You're right. Support gaming, just stupid. Actually, just not stubborn, just stupid. But yeah, that's something that we needed to see, and even if we would have got those answers before Juke put them down, that would have gave us some sense of understanding why they had this witch hunt after Rock, just like everybody have their witch hunt after Rock. But I think that this is what Kanan's real issue is with accepting the fact that he was wrong about who put Famous down. He was wrong about what put who, because this is why he doesn't talk about Crystal. This is why the subject of Crystal doesn't come up, because that's another thing that they can point to that, bro, you were wrong. You went over there to unalive your mama for something that she didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was way too far in too,
It's
though.
too far gone.
It was
It's too far gone.
Yeah, it was too far gone. And you kind of like what you said. I picked up on after the conversation that he had with when we get there with Breeze and the conversation he had with Morning Pop that it was he was wrong. He didn't want to admit that he was wrong, but he was like it don't even matter anyway because it's too much than happened. If this information would have came up before Lou, then yeah, but now it's way too far gone for him to even turn back. So he might
And
as well
he's
just
done
all the
too
way.
much.
Yeah, he might as well lean all the way into it.
He's done too much. He's done too much at this point, so he can't undo all the stuff he did, particularly with what's happened with his uncle. Juke looking at him like she trying to make sense of this. She was like, "You really ain't shit." That's what she should have said. She really should have just said that. She was like, "Yo, you really ain't shit. You are a piece of shit at this point." Like I'm sitting here telling you that your best friend, like he loved you, and you don't want that get back. He's like, "Now you in here asking me for an assist." She was like, "I ain't asking you for no assist, but I'm just giving you an opportunity to get back at the ones that took your best friend out. I don't care. I care about the ones that are still living." And then he did the same thing with Ronnie. He said, Fame always talked too much. And if Fame was talking, he got what he deserved. What? So why is that your response now? But when you thought Rock did it, you had a whole different response for it.
So that's why I said that makes perfect sense. Just like you said, bro. That's all it was. He don't want to admit that Rock didn't do it, and we kind of see that from next week's episode from the trailer what he said to her. So yeah, that's literally like what you said. That's literally what it is.
And the fact that Juke is willing to show love and slide with them, because even though that wasn't her best friend, Fame was part of the family. He lived with them for a while. He was always around. Their family was interconnected. So, Juke probably looks at Fame just like family. And the fact that they put him down and the way that they put him down, she's like, "Nah, we're not finna let that slide." She said that when they was out there pulling up on Freddie and them crew on our basketball court. Like she told us that she wasn't gonna let this slide. So I don't know why Kanan sitting here acting like, this ain't no big deal. We talked about this too. It would be nice to see another prequel, but I don't think that we got any other characters that we can do a prequel with outside of, I think Origins is the last prequel that we can actually get from the characters that we have, unless we get introduced new characters in Legacy that we will be interested in seeing their backstory. I agree though. I think that I would love to have seen a Thomas prequel, even if they future seasons of Origins doesn't always have to be around Kanan, Tasha, and Tommy and Ghost. Like they can use other characters from the Power universe to do backstories for them would be nice. I would like to have seen a backstory with the Thomas family that had Ronnie, DEF CON, High Post, Marvin when he was running the organization before he went locked up. Joyce, like I would be interested in, even if it was just a mini series, even if it was just like a 4 episode run or something like that. I would like to have gotten some of this backstory. Snap and Pop. I would like to have seen some of this backstory too. So another prequel would be dope. But we ain't gonna get that. This make too much sense. Rock, she had already told you, Floozy had already told you, she already told Pino that y'all business was done. What you took your ass over here for and thought you was going to be able to convince this YT man something different. Ain't nothing finna happen for you, Rock. Pino tells her, being a friend of yours is a dangerous business. And he was like, you know what? Yeah, we're through. And it's time for you to go. And Rock, you on your way out the door and you still talking shit. You still
I
talking
was
shit.
just about to, she first of all, she's still talking crazy. Secondly, why didn't she go to Pino? I said this last week. Why did she go to Pino when she started having these issues? Like Pino was already down to help you because you was putting money in his pocket, a large
Mhm.
amount of money in his pocket. You should have went to Pino when you started having this problem. Then we catch you again begging, Mr.
Begging.
Bernardi. No, you
Yep.
done. Like
Done.
it was way too late. And then on her way out, she like, well, anybody who ever betted against me has always lost. Shut up.
And go home.
Not only
Text you
that,
wanted to
Pino
go
gave you the
home.
heads up that when he spoke to her about Kanan. He gave you a heads up right there. It told you, like, yo, he knows how you move. So, but yet still,
You did nothing.
you did nothing, man.
Well, technically, she did something. It just wasn't effective because that's when she let Marvin off the leash. Remember, they snatched up the little biker boy, unalived him, and then she told Marvin that Lou. I think all that was she thought that Marvin would whatever Marvin did to Kanan would fix the situation, and all it did was actually make it worse.
And I think also, now that you said it, I also think she didn't want to tell Pino is because Pino probably would have made that call to take him out. Like,
Exactly.
regardless. Like, nah, he in the game. Like, and it would have been nothing you could do.
I don't know what they gave us this for, other than it's a plot device for what happens later on in the episode with Snap, Pop, and Breeze. That's all this was.
Yeah.
I
So
didn't
the
like this
little,
episode
I don't know if they little white YT boys or the little Latino boys or whatever. But
Well, Italians from Jersey.
Italian.
yeah, they
Yeah.
get yoked up for
And the little
DUI
Geo Metro.
in a little Geo Metro.
I
The
thought it
little
was a
blue Geo
Geostorm.
Metro.
That is a Geo
Yeah, a
Metro.
little Geo Metro. Yep. They get yoked up for DUI, and they go in the trunk and they find all their pills. And of course, later on in the episode, we find out they start telling or whatever. So we know that was gonna be a problem for Breeze and Kanan. Over here at the donut shop, Juke and Marv are meeting with Garcia. Garcia did his thing, which I'm
called it
very
retro.
surprised. Going back to what Bobby said, Garcia could have done us dirty right here, because Garcia could have took that information and used it to his advantage, but he didn't. He came and gave Juke and Marvin the information that, listen, they think it's you.
You called it, bro.
The neighbors said that there was a black guy leaving out, and they know that you spent a lot of time with this little girl. So they're tying you to the situation. She didn't name drop you, but she did say it was a black guy. She changed her story up or whatever. So again, Juke is looking at Marvin like, what we gonna do about this situation? Marvin tries to play it off like it's all good. I ain't worried about it. Garcia like, don't call me no more. He's like, you stay out of my way, I stay out your way. But this it. I'm done. I'm going
Carl
back.
Moses out here.
Yep.
Dang, so Amber did change her story. I thought he just said she didn't change it, but the neighbor was the one.
No, he
No,
said
she changed it.
Yeah, he said she changed it. He
I
said
should
she
have watched it
changed
with
it.
the captions on.
But she did not name drop him. She just said it was a black guy. Because remember, they kept pressing her. They kept pressing her. But she did not give Marvin's name up.
Okay.
And
I thought he literally said. I thought he said like they kept asking her, but the witness was the one that said that they saw a black guy. They had two witnesses.
They said both.
Yeah. Okay.
They did say both.
They said both. They said she changed up her story and that it was a witness. The two witnesses next door were very confident that they seen a black guy leave out of there. And so they just use that as, we know you have a long history of looking, because Marvin said, yeah, just because I look after the little girl doesn't mean that I unalive somebody or whatever. And he was like, well, they looking at you. And so Marvin tells Juke, I ain't worried about this. Like the police been chasing me since forever. Like I ain't worried about this. It is what it is. Like don't worry about this. We got this or whatever. Juke like, what we gonna do about this situation? And so again, Marvin is at this point accepting his fate. He's just trying to play it off as if he's not concerned about it. But I think he's come to peace with whatever happens. I think in his mind, he probably thinks that he's getting ready to go down for this. That's why he starts making his preparations throughout the episodes.
Okay,
Is
we're on the same
because
accord.
He probably thought that this was what's going to end up happening to me. I'm going to end up getting locked up behind this.
Yep.
So he was trying to set things in motion, but there was a different path chosen for him.
That's what I literally thought, because we got that scene along with another scene. Was like, yeah, Marv about to get ready to go to jail. Especially when we got that scene right there. I was like, yeah, Marv about to get ready to get locked up.
Yeah, that's what I can't even understand, that they can't go there. Like they didn't even go in there and look at how those kids were living in the dismal situation that they was living in, locked in a room and everything. They act like Marvin just went in there, did a home invasion and unalive innocent people. These people were abusive to these kids. Like they deserve to be unalive. All right, so Kanan meet up with Breeze, and Breeze check him on. So I heard that you ran up in that trick house, and you're like, you didn't think you needed to tell me about that? And Kanan's like, it was just something I stumbled into. Nah, it was something you planned. But see, you lied to your partner already. So this relationship right here ain't, neither one of them trust each other. So he is pretty much telling Kanan, like, listen, you got bigger things to worry about besides that trick up there in Manhattan. But Snap and Pop, I met with Snap and Pop. They got a job for us, and this is gonna be a tough one for you. He pretty much tell Kanan that look, they want us to put down your moms and your uncle. And he was like, I'll do your mom because I know that's gonna be hard for you. I figured that you can do your uncle since he knocked you around.
Beat the brakes off your ass.
When did Breeze find out about that? I guess Kanan told him off camera. Because just last week, he was asking Kanan who did it to him. He's like, just give me the word and I'll go deal with them. And Kanan never would tell him. Now all of a sudden Breeze knows that it was Marvin that gave him the beat down. Yeah, okay. And so Kanan switches it up. He was like, nah, I don't want to do my uncle actually. This is why I don't understand why he ended up doing what he did, because he said to Breeze right here, like, nah, it's not what you think.
I don't understand it either.
I'm confused.
We gonna get to that.
I'm confused.
Yeah.
Or was he trying to throw Breeze off? Again, I don't think that Kanan, even though he's agreeing to it, but I think in his mind, he still ain't with it.
Nah, he not. I think maybe we
Kanan
might
is
see
with
it in the next episode why he didn't.
I don't think Kanan is with it. I think he's keep trying to convince himself that he's with it, but I don't think
exactly.
I think Marvin was easy. That was the easier, he was like already, blue.
But in this scene right here, he wasn't even going for Marvin. He wasn't even going for Marvin right
here. He wasn't. But I just think that when we get to that scene,
we might see like how we saw the whole
like with the whole situation with Ronnie.
Yeah, or like how
this
how
is
we
what
saw
that reminds
with,
me of. This is exactly what that reminds me of.
We probably see it next episode as to what changed and why he didn't go after Rock.
It's the same reason why she won't go after him. It's the exact same reason why she won't go after him. He loves his mama, but he just won't admit it to anyone else. First of all, he won't admit it to himself. But this is what I have a big issue with.
Huge problem. This is the biggest
problem. Where the fuck did this come from?
Thank you.
Where the fuck did this come from? This is ridiculous. Like all of a sudden now Rock under federal investigation for something that she didn't do. Y'all mean tell me y'all been watching her and y'all ain't getting her for selling drugs. Y'all ain't getting her for no murders. Y'all ain't getting her for that. Y'all getting her for money laundering for someone that she sold a building to that she has never met before, and all of a sudden now she's got a federal indictment. She's got a damn near RICO against her for money laundering. Make that make sense for me. This is a plot device to get her to tell. I get it. But this shit right here is just, it's ridiculous how they just dropped this out of the air on us.
But do you want to drop what we noticed, backstage when we was
Go ahead and break it down, Jack. I want to show the video
all right.
so bad, but I know they'll
Ah,
shut our live down if I do.
they
So I want
would.
to show it so
So
bad. Let me
so
see if
for
I can get the
those who
screenshots. Let me get the
for those who
screenshots.
was watching in the preview when they do previously on Raising Canaan, we see that she is, talking
Oh,
to
you
the
know
real
what? I
estate
can
agent
show it.
or
I can show it
whatever,
as a screenshot.
and
I
it's
can show it
people
as a
taking picture of her. Like you see
yeah.
the agents taking pictures of her or whatever. So we went back to the actual episode, or we tried to go back to the actual episode and put the pieces together of how we actually got here. Now, in one scene, we see her buying buying the property from the real estate agent. Then in the next scene, we see her, which is this one. So the assumption is she was buying the property in this one from the
And
same
she was
guy,
and she was being watched.
and she was being watched, but we never saw this.
We never saw this. This happened in the preview. So if you want
It happened in
to
the
see what
preview.
we're talking about, go to this episode right here. It's in episode 7, and you know how they do the previously on Raising Canaan. They give you the
Mhm.
recap. This is where they show it at in the recap. They show it in the recap of Rock telling the broker that she wants to unload the building. But they also show that when she first bought the building, that she was being watched. Feds watching.
Okay, y'all put
Yeah.
me on something because I didn't think
Jack
it was.
put me on it. Jack was telling me
I
about
didn't
it
think
because
it was
I
the
went to the
Fed.
actual scene. I went to the actual scene and we couldn't find it in the actual scene. They show it in the
Mm-hmm.
preview. They show it in the
Mm-hmm.
preview. So go look at the preview for this episode. Go look at the preview for this episode, and it'll show her having that conversation with the broker about unloading the building, giving the extra money if he can get it sold fast. She'll take the cash deal and all that. But they also
Mm-hmm.
show here where the feds was watching her when she first bought the building.
I remember that, but I didn't think it was the feds. I thought it was the cops, them dirty cops.
I thought it
Nope, it
was
was the
too.
feds.
I thought it
And
was too.
the
It's the
dirty cop
exact same
were
thing I told Jack. That
and
was
the
the
exact
exact.
same page.
Yep,
But
it's
it
the
was
exact same thing I
in this
told. But
preview, they
when you watch
dropped
this
this in
preview,
there.
when you watch this
Yes.
preview, you'll see it's the FBI agents that's watching her, not the dirty
It's the
cops
same
that shook
FBI
her down.
agent. So that's why I'm
Yep.
like, that's why I was like, I don't understand how we even got here or even got to this point, especially with all list of things you want to try to tie her some type of money laundering and terrorism.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when that scene popped up, I was like, I didn't understand it either, and it annoyed me because I'm like, we're just now getting this in episode 7. Like this should have been something we should have saw back in like
Ex-
episode
Exactly the
5.
same thing we were
I
saying. That's
get
what
it. We
made us
only
go
got
look for this.
Exactly.
That's what made us
Yes.
go look for this
That
because
was
we
just
couldn't
so
make sense of where this was coming from all of a sudden. Like it was just
yes.
out of nowhere. And then I said, maybe she had been being watched. And Jack was like, yeah, she had been being watched. And I was like, what do you mean? And he was like, go back and look for it. And we went and looked through all the episodes until we found it. And we found it.
And the only thing I could think of, the only reason why we seeing this now is because it's only 8 episodes instead of 10. But even still, we should have saw this way back. We should have
Yes,
saw
it
this.
should have led up to this
And
conversation.
we
Matter
should
of
have
fact,
even seen her get a new lawyer. When did she get a new lawyer?
right.
When did
Matter of
she even
fact,
get a
we
new
should have
lawyer?
saw it right after she sold the building. That next
Exactly.
episode
Yes.
is when we should have saw it.
Yes.
Or it should have been talked about then. Or we should have even saw it with Tanner in a task force.
Yep.
Even if we didn't see it with Rock, we should have seen a scene with Tanner saying that he was investigating Rock or something like that that let us know that that threat was out there.
Never
looming for
said
Rock.
nothing.
Nothing.
Never said nothing. So you and then they try to use this to try to tie up things between Stefano and Pino because then they hit you with the oh well we seen you we got several pictures with you meeting both of them on different occasions and stuff like that. So
Which we
this
know
is
that
money
already.
laundering.
We knew that
Right.
already. We knew that they had been
Right.
watching her go visit the fish
But
man because
you
remember
drop
Andre told her
this
about the first deal
Mm-hmm.
right,
way back.
right. And then they even mentioned it. It was like, hey, Marvin even went to see Stefano. So we already knew that already. But you drop this in here like we're not supposed to catch it. We ain't supposed to see anything. Like, why even put this in there? Because you are trying to speed things up.
It's plot armor. So they tell her that they got a preponderance of evidence against her that suggests that she has been participating in laundering money for this buyer, which I have an issue with. If you're telling me that I'm under investigation and you got charges up on me, you gonna give me a name of who I'm working with. You're not going to just refer to this person in third party as a buyer. They didn't give a name. So
And
like
I
she
mean,
don't even know who the hell she's being accused of working with. Like that's not due process.
yeah.
So I'm like, okay, who's this buyer? Like I told Jack off camera when we was talking about it, if they wanted this to make sense, this should have been another thing that Snap and Pop was responsible for, setting Rock up. Setting
Mhm.
Rock up with this buyer, setting Rock up to take the fall for this money laundering. This should have been more of their dirty work right here. They should have tied this to Snap and Pop, and it would have made sense. But what this is plot armor for us to consider the fact that Rock's gonna tell.
Yeah.
And in this case, I ain't mad if she do.
Especially because now they're trying to
I don't
say
sell
she-
drugs, I don't
that's-
launder money, and I don't commit murders. So the codes of the street don't apply to me in my thought process in this. Survival
I'd be mad if she do.
applies.
I'd be mad if she do.
Survival applies to my thought process. Rock ain't got no workers. She got no work. She got no muscle. She got nothing right now. The best thing for her to do, and she's telling on people that are trying to unalive her at this point. Like, man,
She in the game though. She can't tell. She can't
man,
snitch.
fuck that shit.
Nah,
Stefano,
nah,
you know,
nah.
Lucy, all of them be in cuffs right now. I
Can't
tell them
snitch.
all of them, go.
Nah.
She can't snitch.
I
Rock,
don't like it.
tail, Rock, tail.
Nah, I don't like it how they did it when they said not even money laundering, but her funding terror. Like, where did that come from out of nowhere? Now all of a sudden, like, oh yeah, you're funding terror. Like, really? Like, that didn't make any sense. Now I could get if they just said straight money laundering, but the fact that y'all say, oh yeah, you're funding terror, I was like, really? Like, this is what y'all came up
I
with
don't know what you talking about, Bob, but she can tell. Yes,
for
she
this
can.
whatchamacallit. But yeah, nah. I'm for me personally, I'm going to be highly pissed. And I get it. She was a CI back when she was young, XYZ. She been in the game too long. So if they write it to where that's what she does, that's really because look, like I said, we're on season 5. We've seen Rock been like this. She's been all about the game 100%. Remember,
that's a huge part
remember
of
the last episode when Marvin was talking to her. It might even have been the last episode. I can't remember. But remember the episode where they were in Rock's house and Marvin was talking about the whole thing with Lou and whatnot. Her first thing was to get back to business. She's been all about the game 100%. So she been about the game, and for them to write and just do a 180 on her character, like she,
I wouldn't like it.
like I, yeah,
It's not a 180.
That
It's-
it would. That
It's
would
not a
piss.
180. I'm going to tell you why. Look what she did last week. Look what she did last week when Hafiz stopped supplying her. She made an emotional decision to go in there and unalive that man. So this would be the same thing right now. Right now, you're asking her to stay loyal and protect people that are trying to drop her and put her down. When she finds out next week that her brother, the last help that she got, is gone and she is the only one there, she has no allies whatsoever. Everybody she went to in this episode turned her down. She ain't got a helping hand from no one. And you think that she's going to stay loyal to these people that are trying to put her in the ground?
I don't think
This is. It's not being loyal to them. If
Yeah.
she had to
I
unalive
get it's
him,
being loyal
she
to the
would.
game, but she's out the game at this point.
Absolutely.
She's out the game at
Absolutely.
this point. She can't
She
even
still
get no
owe
one to
it.
supply her right now.
She still owe it to the game because
Mhm.
this is kind of like it's like pricking your finger. It's kind of like one of the things that go along with the territory. If you're a civilian, you can tell all you want to. You're a civilian, but once you in the game, you telling is no longer being a snitch is the worst type of person. You can unalive as many people as you need to,
I
but
get
once you
that.
get that labeled as a snitch,
I get
you're
that.
done deal.
But she's already being labeled as the bad guy anyway. She's already labeled
that's
for putting
true.
down high posts. She's already labeled for putting down DEF CON. She's already
That's
been
even better than being a
labeled for
snitch.
everything that
As a bad mom,
Kanan
as a bad
accuses her of.
Yeah.
And keep in mind, she
everything.
started out as a
Howard, all
CI.
that.
She started out as a CI, going back
She
to her
did.
throwing Unique up under the bus and everything. This is not something that she's unfamiliar with. So if it meant for her survival, she absolutely would tell. And the reason why I feel like this is the direction that they're going to go in is also setting up the fact that it also takes Breeze and Kanan off of the board. If she tells on Stefano, if she tells on Pino, if she tells on Flossie them, now that shuts Breeze and Kanan them operation down because they no longer have a supplier now with Snap and Pop off of the board. That forces them to have to go to Tremont as a supplier because their suppliers right now, their protection and their connection is now locked up or under federal investigation. This kills two birds with one stone for her. So from a strategic standpoint, not only it gets her to a safe place, it also eliminates her enemies and it takes care of Kanan and Breeze. It's a three-way deal for her that she wins.
Yeah, but you got to think about it like this though. This is what I thought about, and this is why another reason why I think, I hope they don't write Rock snitches because she snitches immediately. You got to think about it like this though. Although Kanan is at odds with her, who would want to do business with the son of a snitch? Remember how Rock tried to keep it under wraps that Kanan was the son of a cop. So Rock snitches, they write Rock snitches. Who's gonna want to do work? Who's gonna want to work with Kanan? Because he's a son of a snitch. So they're gonna think in their mind like, yeah, now granted they're at odds, but still, if I'm doing work with you and I know your mom's a snitch, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I know your mom's a snitch and your pops was a cop. Like, yeah, nah, I'm not doing no work with you. Like, how I know you're not gonna do the same thing your mom do. This, you can do whatever. I'm not like my mother. That ain't gonna do it for me because I'm gonna be like, yo, your mom's a snitch. So that's one of the main reasons why I feel like, well, I'm hoping that they don't write her to do that because that just wouldn't make sense in the game. Like, she snitches now, and then like, of course, Breeze. You think Breeze gonna be like, oh, yo, your mom snitch? Like, now I'm gonna keep working with you. But I get your point though. That is a perfect setup for them to tie in Tremont in the origins as to where she does snitch. It takes out Stefano, it takes out Pino, takes out Flossie and everybody, and then they have to go to Tremont for some work.
House of Cards is falling, fellas. And right now we see the desperation in the character. So I think the character in previous seasons absolutely would not have snitched. I agree with that. But the character that is before us right now, in front of us right now, she really ain't got much to hang her hat on right now. At this point, she is out of all of her little slick moves. You know, Rock always land on her feet. But in this case, she don't got to bounce back. So I think she's going to have to be forced to think about her own survival versus anything else that's important to her right now. Because and you have to keep in mind what's going to be the catalyst for it is when she finds out that Marvin is gone. And everything that Marvin warned her about prior to him being erased right now is probably going to come down on her, and she's going to probably be scared when she realizes that somebody got to Marvin and now she's next. This is her only way out. So we'll see what happens. I hear y'all points, and like I said, I agree with those points if it wasn't being shown to us that the character is spiraling out of control. She's making the very emotional, irrational decisions. She's losing all allies. She has nobody that's in her corner right now. I think it's leaving her with no choice. It's very similar to what Tasha did for her survival. Tasha went up in that courtroom to protect Tariq and herself and lied and put Ghosts unaliving on Tommy and had to go to witness protection. I think that this is how we keep the character around, but we'll see.
Yeah, I hope they don't do that because, like I said, that'll just
we'll see. Keep in mind, the Power Universe ain't nothing but wash, rinse.
Yeah,
repeat.
that is true.
Mhm.
Wash, rinse, and repeat.
Wash, rinse, repeat. Look for it. Is the telltale sign for me. For me, you know, I always look at the writing and say, what are the writers trying to do with this? Otherwise, why bring this to us if this is not going to be what the character does? We know that Kanan's not going to unalive his mama. We know that. We have to believe that Kanan's not going to unalive Rock. And I think that Rock does put Stefano down. Or she puts Pino down, one of the two, but I think she's going to put Stefano down.
I think it's going to be Stefano.
I think for her to get out of the charges that she's in, Rock ain't going to go to jail. Yeah. Rock can't go to jail. She'll be a target if she goes to jail. Right now, keep in mind, they got these money laundering charges on her, so it's either she take those charges and she go sit down for a bid, or
Yeah,
she
the
tell on
mobbing gets way
somebody,
easier if
she
she's
tell on
there.
an enemy and get sent to witness protection.
She go
Easy decision for
reconnect
me
with
to make.
Symphony.
Go down to North Carolina with Symphony.
Yep.
Now I told y'all, when y'all see Rock smoking them Virginia Slims or them Newports shorts that she's smoking, she's stressed.
Stress.
She's stressed. And when she walk out of the meeting, the lawyer came out and told her, like, look, Ma, it ain't looking good for you right now. Your money is finna run out. Because right now you ain't got no work out here on the street, so you ain't gonna be able to pay me. So you better take this deal. That's not what he said, but I'm just thinking about the fact that Rock is running low on funds right now. She need to go ahead and take this deal. Rock, baby girl, ain't nobody like you. Nobody like you. I think I'm the only one in the world that like you, Rock. Take this deal, Ma, and get on out of New York. Ain't nothing left for you here. Ain't nothing
Don't take
left for
the
you
deal,
here.
Rock. Don't
Take it,
take
Rock.
the deal.
Take the deal, Rock.
I'm gonna think so much different than you do.
Man, everybody already think different of her. Everybody already talk shit about her. Everyone talk about how she's a horrible mother. She ain't shit. She ain't this. She ain't that. What reason would she not have to take the deal right now? Everybody hate her. Everybody hate her. It's the perfect escape for her.
It's Rock pride, though. You know what I'm saying? Like Rock pride gets in the
but her
way of a
pride,
lot of things that she do.
Keep in mind, she finna take a hit on all that. When she find out that Marvin gone, because remember what she told Marvin in this episode, when we get to this scene when she told Marvin, we'll always make a way. When she find out there ain't nobody else to make a way with, Rock ain't never been in this predicament that she's in right now. She's never had to do this by herself. She's never not had Lou. She's never not had Marvin. Right now, she ain't got nobody.
All because she won't be
desperate. And she's desperate.
I mean, she could find out in that conversation with Kanan that Kanan was the one that put Marvin down.
And I think that's going to be a pinup, but we'll talk about that when we get there. Marvin getting ready to go to a war, and he's sitting here loading up bangers. I'm like, where the assault rifles at?
Right. That was the first thing I was
Where
thinking.
the drums at? Where the drums
That's what we talked. That's what we talked about. How you gonna slide with this? This is a walk down. These are for walk downs. How you sliding with this?
Because we seen him. He did it to Unique.
And he had a drum on that Draco. He had a drum.
He had a
M16 when he took it.
He had a shotty when he pulled up at Kanan's spot. At least.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure did. And blew the door off the hinges. Right.
Yes.
Marvin, what is this? This was.
And your whole team had these. That's crazy.
Yeah. And it looked like you brought them for the whole team, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, that's crazy work.
Juke come in and said, what we going to do about this situation with this little girl? Juke ready to do something about this situation. And even though it would have been very dark for the character, I wouldn't have been mad at the fact that she decides to eliminate Amber. But at this point, even eliminating Amber wouldn't have fixed the situation. Actually, would have made the situation worse.
Made it worse.
So
Juke
is coming to Marvin like, what are we going to do about this? And I like how Juke tries to be the voice of reason for Marvin. Hey, what's up, pretty girl? Trap. Appreciate that shout out earlier. I was just talking about you not too long ago about a point that you made in your live today about Rock actually sitting down with Kanan and actually explaining a lot of her decision making. I really agree with that point. So thank you for tuning in on us.
Much appreciated.
Juke is the voice of reason for Marvin, and oftentimes I like how they present her in such a way where she comes to Marvin and be like, what we gonna do? Like, she forces Marvin to think of the problem and come up with a solution for it, but yet Marvin again brushes her off and reassures her that everything is under control, and he got everything under control. And she looking at him like, nah, it ain't under control. And she's like, what you doing all these guns? And he was like, oh, I'm just doing my inventory or whatever. And she looking at him like, you really think I'm going to believe that? And of course, once again, she has a heartfelt conversation with him. And she even goes back to, look, I know there are a lot of things went right with us over the years. But one thing I can tell you is you have always been there. Because keep in mind, Marvin has been the only parent that's really been a stable presence in her life. Her mama didn't come back but for a brief spell, and that whole situation with the church trying to beat the gay out of her and her mama getting unalive, she really didn't get to build a connection with her mama. Her connection, right, wrong, or indifferent, has been with Marvin. And she tell Marvin that I need you. I can't take anything happening to you. And once again, with tears in her eyes, she give her daddy a hug. And I said it right here, like I said last week. This was her saying goodbye to her daddy.
Yep.
I felt
Damn,
that,
Juke.
but not the way we
Damn,
saw.
Juke. Why?
And
Yeah.
there's another scene why I didn't think we were going to get what we got. And I'll touch on that when we get
Exactly,
to that scene.
Dexter. That's exactly the way I receive it. They write
Yeah.
this very well because sometimes it feels like Jukebox is the adult and she the parent and she got all the sense because sometimes she have to go to Marv and be like, yo, you don't see this as a problem? I love how they write her. I mean, at the end of the day, Jukebox has got to be what 21, 22 at this point. So, she's talking to Marvin as an adult versus a child. And I like how they have those conversations. They have those real conversations. Kanan coming home with some Chinese takeout. Look like he got a good 20-piece fried rice and wings from the Chinese spot. He coming home. And once again, you got Snap and Pop. Me and Jack was talking about this and how they moving around with no security. And they just
Since
happen to be
when?
standing there. Yeah, since when?
I
Right.
figured the
Since
security
when?
was just off screen. Like, I figured that's all it was.
But they definitely was off screen, off world when Juke put him down.
Yeah, for sure.
And so I don't understand what their motivation was for coming unless Breeze had another conversation with them that we didn't see where he went back and told
I
them
think so.
what Kanan's feedback
Off
was.
camera.
Because I didn't see the reason for why they pulled up on him like that when they had already given the directions to Breeze on what they wanted to happen. But they came in to re-emphasize their request of
But-
Kanan to make sure that he was with the plan of putting his mom and Marvin down or whatever. And what do Kanan say, Jack?
I'll do this work.
I think it was more so
You
just
asked
for
me to
them.
do. You asked me to do a specific work. I handle it.
I think it was just for them for their
It was
their
a temperature
solace, for
check.
their mindset to check his temperature.
Yeah,
to
it was
see,
a
like,
temperature
But
check.
didn't when he had a conversation with Breeze though, didn't he already say that he was gonna do it? He was like, despite
Yeah,
the
but
old
that's what
ass and putting my
Breeze.
friends down.
Yeah, I mean, but that's what Breeze though. They want a 100%
They
check.
want
'cause
confirmation.
as we
Gotcha.
can see in a similar which I'll touch on that when we get to that scene. In another scene, like they want to make sure like he's down with it because
Yeah, they want
remember how
confirmation.
he went at Ronnie last season when Ronnie tried to take out Rock and he came in the bar storming at him like, yo, you don't do like, yo. So I think that's what it was. They just wanted 100% to make sure
And they
like,
know how Kanan feel about his family.
yeah,
They know how Kanan
That's
feel
all it
about
was.
his family. It was confirmation. They were looking for confirmation. Kanan uses this opportunity to check them as well, check their temperature. He's like, I know what y'all did to Fame, and of course they deny it. They reflect. And he's like, if that ain't loyalty, I don't know what else is. And it was like, nah, we ain't do nothing with that. We ain't got nothing to do with that. Somebody leading you wrong. And of course,
Why you think they ain't tell him?
because they ain't want him because they've been manipulating. We've been saying this since what, season 3?
and they got to keep him against Rock.
Yep.
They that's their sole purpose of
Get to
Kanan.
go
That's
against
their
Rock.
only interest. Exactly.
Mhm.
That's their only
To go against
interest
Rock.
in Kanan, to go against Rock. Yes.
Because I'm like, if they just would have told him like, yo, famous was snitching, we knew you weren't gonna be able to
He
do
would have
it.
understood
But,
that. Yes.
but it goes back to
they got
why
to keep
they
this
got
missile.
this
They got to keep this missile
thing for
pointed
Rock.
in Rock's direction
Yeah.
at all times. Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it was.
That's all this is.
And they felt, and more than likely,
Makes sense.
probably they thought that or felt like if we tell Kanan we did this, that he's out. And that's literally what it was. But you can tell Kanan knew they was lying because they lied horribly in this scene. Like it wasn't even believable.
Yes,
Yeah. You could tell that they were, I'm not gonna say unraveling, but you could tell that they were losing control of, or what they felt like they were losing control of their manipulation over Kanan. Because up until this point, he's believed everything that they said. The fact that he's questioning now, they weren't prepared for that. Appreciate that support, Gaming. And he is right. There is 70 people in the chat. Please hit that like button. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe to the channel. Help us out. We appreciate that, y'all.
And why does like one sounds like they articulate well and the other one sounds like a retarded echo?
because they've been scheming and lying and manipulating all along. This is a science for them. This is the role that they play. One of them always play good cop, one of them always play bad cop, and they switch, they reverse those roles from time to time. Sometimes it's Snap that's good cop, and sometimes it's Pop that's good cop. They switch those roles up. They interchange their position based on whoever's standing in front of them and what lie they got to tell. You know, it's
And
just
which
like how it's just like
okay,
how
go
when
ahead.
Juke approached them, Pop automatically went with the sweetheart. No, we didn't know anything about that. So they just been
And
lying
then
and
Snap
scheming.
was like, "Here we go with this shit again."
Exactly. They've
But it
been
kind of furthers the conversation that me and you was having concerning a certain scene when we get to it.
that part. That part for sure. All right. Marvin sliding out on Breeze and just not prepared whatsoever for this task that
You
Rock
said it with
has.
them walk downs.
Yeah, with these walk downs, and look what this man blasting off at them. I told y'all, y'all argued me down last week that this wasn't Marvin shooting out at Breeze. It just didn't make sense for Breeze to be shooting out with anyone else this late in the season, and with everything that's going on. If Marvin would trust me, I don't like the fact that we lost Marvin in this episode. So let me just start with that. I wanted Marvin to go into Origins actually. I wanted us to spend a few episodes with Marvin in Origins, even if he was just a background character. I wanted his character to kind of survive for a different reason. But if we had to lose Marvin in this scene right here, they could have redeemed Kanan in this scene right here. They could have redeemed Rock in this scene right here. And they could have gotten rid of Marvin in this scene right here. They could have done all three of this with this scene right here. If Marvin would have perished in this scene right here, I think we all would have been okay with that. Because he would
I
have
would
been
have
out
been.
protecting his family.
I would have been.
I would have
okay.
been.
Kanan would have been there and been part of that shootout. And in this shootout, there would have been words exchanged in this shootout. It would have been even better if Snap and Pop would have been here as well. And words would have been exchanged between Rock and Snap and Pop and Marvin and Breeze and Kanan.
Yep.
If the truth would have came out in this confrontation right here about all the things that everyone is upset about, and Marvin ends up taking a bullet trying to save his sister, and Kanan would have ended up turning the gun on Snap and Pop to save his mama, all this would have been okay with us. This would have been great fan service for us if this is how we would have lost Snap and Pop, and this is how we would have lost Marvin. Marvin going down trying to protect his family. That's what we should have saw with that character.
I mean, I would have been fine if he had got unalive right here because he went to the spot.
I would have been fine too. Yep.
I would have been fine.
with that.
Yes, that would have been fine too, without any of the other stuff. If Marvin would have died right here in this scene right here, we would have been okay with that.
Yeah.
Even if Kanan was there and he was the one that still,
Did it? Yeah.
got to, I would have been okay with that.
But it goes back to my point. If Marvin would have died protecting his family, protecting his sister, particularly Rock, I would have been okay with Marvin going out this episode. This would have been perfect for him. But
Deborah,
to
I don't
have
think we ever got to it.
Nah.
I don't think it got to the point where Juke was able to get to the crew to move it yet.
But that goes back to, Deborah makes a good point. That goes back to all the wasted scenes that y'all gave us. Why show us that? Why show us going over there to put her crew back unless we see that in Origins? Unless that's something that carries over into Origins and we see Juke got a crew out here on the street working for her in Origins. That's the only thing that will make sense for why they would show that to us, that Juke gonna get out here. And I guess after Marvin gone, that's probably gonna be what she does for a little minute before she decides.
I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, she gonna end up being out here selling this work.
Mm-hmm.
Or this, I was gonna say this might be, because keep in mind, Rock made a point in this episode to say that she still had product left over. So is this what Juke is going to end up selling for Rock? I don't want that. No, I don't want that. I don't want her working with Rock.
I don't think so.
Nah, I don't think so.
Well, she's gonna go back to being a stick-up kid.
Was she ever a stick-up kid?
Well, she was robbing. She was robbing like the little trucks or whatever for the polo stuff.
Yeah, she was still in the.
But I think she's gonna take it to like another level.
Yeah, she said she wanted to sell this work. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that was out of necessity because she was trying to get up more money to pay up
Yeah.
Garcia. She was trying to get up
Oh,
more
yeah.
money to pay up Garcia at that time. So maybe that's
Hmm.
why that kind of, didn't go anywhere.
Hmm.
Marvin is completely overwhelmed at this point, and he has to run for cover. And he's able to get back to his car after, especially after he see that the whole little crew that he came there with, all of them got dropped. And Breeze, like a sociopath here, runs out into the street with his banger and so what are you running from? We were just having fun, and he shoots up in the air, and he's having a good time with this. But this also lets Marvin know that I'm way outclassed, I'm way out of my league. These YNs out here are crash outs, and he can't compete with that, and he definitely don't have the muscle to compete with that. So this showed us that Marvin and the Thomas family, they no longer got that clout no more. They ain't got no
And you know
fear in
what
the
else though?
streets.
You know what else though? How many times have we seen Marvin, Lou, or Rock just pull up and just start blasting like that? They don't do that. That's never been them. They always move strategic. They always had some type of plan in order to make this happen. This kind of goes to show, or at least what the writers trying to show us, is kind of like the unraveling of everything because they never moved like this. And
Yeah,
any hit that they ever did, or anything anytime they ever plotted to get somebody, they always either walk them down where they didn't see it coming, but they know it's coming. Never like this. This was sloppy.
yeah, it was sloppy, but it just also lets you know that this, going back to what I've been saying all along in this episode, is that they just they're down bad. They ain't
Hmm.
got nothing no more. They don't got they don't got the clout that they used to have in the streets no more, and nobody fears them anymore, and they're overwhelmed. They're outnumbered, outclassed. Rock, I don't know why she's still staying here in this house. I just don't know why she's still staying here in this house. She should be somewhere else at this point because she ain't got but one little sad security guard that's out front, and they put him down. That's it. Marvin come over and he tell her about what happened. And she was like, "Was Kanan there?" That's again. She ain't even asking her brother, "Are you
Is
okay?
he all right?
I'm
Yep.
glad you made it out. Are you all right?" Yeah.
Hmm.
The first words that rolled up out of her mouth is, "Was Kanan there?"
This Kaden, and
She's
my
a
God,
mom.
this little demon child.
She's a mother. So she immediately is thinking about her son. So
Yeah. The son that was in no danger. But at the end of the day, keep in mind what she sent him there for. She sent him there to unalive everyone else and bring Kanan to her is what her initial goal was. But if he came back empty handed, obviously Kanan mission was not accomplished here. So Marvin pretty much tells her, like, look, can we have a conversation without you getting all in your feelings about it? Because I really need to say what I need to say. And I feel like all he did was repeat to her what he had already said to her earlier in the episode and what he had said to her previously in other episodes that, look, when we first started this, we did this for money and respect. There was a time we could walk the streets and everybody feared us. Going back to when it was in Baisley's, when Rock walked into that building, she parted the Red Sea. When she walked into that building, everybody got out of her way. Like, you don't got that fear out in the streets no more. We don't have that fear out in the streets no more. Like, the streets don't belong to us anymore. Rock tries to appeal to him and say, look, we still got product left over from Joaquin and Hafiz. Like, we could be up in an hour. And he was like, to do what? We don't got no soldiers. We don't got no streets. We got the Afghans after us. We got Kanan and Breeze after us. And we got the Italians after us. Like, are you hearing yourself right now? Like, we through. And Marvin is ready to roll the curtain up and say it's a wrap. And Rock tells him, like, bruh, we always figured out a way. Like, we had problems before. DEFCON, High Post, Unique. Where they all at now? They gone. And we still here. We'll find a way, like we always find a way. And Marvin's like, you're not looking at this situation. There is no way for us to find a way. We have nothing.
nothing.
And Rock is still sitting here once again trying to put a battery in Marvin's back like she always does
Hmm.
to get him gassed up, to keep him in this war that Marvin clearly is ready to throw in the towel. Marvin in this scene right here is telling her that I can't do this anymore. We're
He
through.
was done.
He was
Yeah, he
done.
was done.
And this is for self-preservation. This is for desperation. And I think this is Rock at the same time also coming to the reality that he's right, but she doesn't want to admit it. She's hanging on the strings at this point.
I agree 100%. Especially when he tells her, like, you didn't care about me or Lou.
Yeah, he did say that, didn't he? He did
Mhm.
say you didn't care nothing about me or Lou, and she said that's not true.
He was
I
like, all you
needed
care
Rock.
about is Kanan.
I needed Rock to. She should have had a follow up to his conversation.
Yeah.
Other than her saying that's not true, she should have explained to Marvin why it wasn't true. She should have said, "No, I do love you. I do love Lou. I haven't done right by you all. Blah 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 blah." She should have let Marvin know that she was wrong for upholding Kanan. She should have admitted that to Marvin in this conversation. That's the very
Immediately.
least she could have done. But as usual, she couldn't. She couldn't let her pride allow her to tell her brother that she is wrong. Juke in this gap. When you see Juke loading up and looking up at this gap, we already know that she getting ready to go do her
I
thing.
still don't know how the cops ain't tied that joint, because we remember, what was that, season 3? She on the live dude with that same piece.
That was a different piece.
Oh, it was different. Okay.
I think that was a chrome piece that she unalived the girlfriend from the club.
That was.
with. It was a
Okay,
chrome
yeah.
piece. Why did they bring this girl back?
I don't understand why they brought
Me
Aisha
either.
back for
This
this.
was a wasted
no
scene.
purpose.
We didn't need it. And then to have her go over there and see Kanan afterwards was even more of a waste. Just a waste. The little girl Aisha from Butter, the little girl that she was laying up with when she was at Spelman, take your ass back to Spelman and be safe. Come over here begging Juke once again. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I can't think about school. I can't think about nothing else but you. Juke must
Gray
put that
slipping.
thing on her. Like, you gonna do what I say, Juke. Damn. I don't know what. Juke got that tornado tongue, I guess. I don't know what Juke did to the little girl that got her turned.
That's crazy.
But the little girl is turned. And she's sitting here pleading her case to Juke. And of course, Juke is trying to send her on by her business. She's like, what do you want, Aisha? And Aisha was just telling her, wait a minute. And then she happens to feel the gun up under the couch. And she pulls this up and, what is this? And Juke like, look like a gat to me. What does it look like to you, Aisha?
That's right.
And she was like, what you getting ready to do with that? And Juke was like, it's time to go. And she was like, I know what you're trying to do. Juke was like, I'm seeing somebody else, the girl from the club. And she's like, yeah, no, I don't believe any of that. I know that you love me. I know that you care about me. And she was like, basically telling Juke the same thing Juke told Marvin, I can't live without you or whatever. What is this? What was the purpose of this?
This gave me nothing. This gave me nothing.
Gave me nothing.
Only thing I looked at it as is it's a plot device to show that Juke was going to be the one that take out Snaps and Pop. That's the only thing.
Or letting us know that Juke is not going to be deterred from doing this. She don't made up her mind that she going to do this. Exactly. She don't made up her mind she going to do this, and I don't care if who come over here and try to stop her. She's on her mission right now, and her mission is to
Because as many times as folks that sat on that couch, like, we ain't never seen nobody, oh, hey, there's a gun. Like, come on now. Like, if she just randomly feels, yeah, that's just for more than a plot device.
Juke put her ass on up out of there, and she runs straight over to Kanan's place, and Kanan, I don't care. And it's interesting that
She probably coming for me.
Yeah.
You probably need to get up out of here.
Why did he think that?
I have a question, though. How did Aisha even know
where Kanan
lived?
I thought so, too.
I thought about that.
I was trying to figure that out.
They lived in another spot when Crystal was living with him.
I mean, I get it, but even still, though, Aisha was down in Spelman. So how did she even know that's where Kanan lived?
You know what, Dexter? I thought about that too. Why Juke didn't tell Marvin about what was going on with Bonnie and Clyde? Yeah,
Marvin would have tried to stop her.
Yeah,
or she was too concerned about what was going on with Marvin at the time to put anything else on him.
that's
Maybe
true.
that is the answer to that question. That maybe she was just
That
too
too.
concerned about what was going on with Marvin that she didn't even think about all that because she
And
knew that she was
I
going to handle that herself.
think it's a combination of both,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah. No, I don't know why we needed this. And Kanan tell her that yeah, I think she was going to use the gat on me. If she got a gat, she gonna use it on me. Why did he feel like that?
I don't know. Like she already accepted what
Or
he did
maybe it's
to
because he
Lou,
feels like she's upset with him because of the whole thing with Fame and Lou.
or maybe she feels like that he needs to retaliate for what Marvin did to him.
Yeah, that part. Well, Kanan tell her he don't care
Yeah.
and put her ass on up out of there. And she was like, "You Thomas, people always put me out." And he's like, "Yeah, you still keep coming back," and slam the door
You
in the
still don't get
face.
the fucking point.
Man, she need to go get on the midnight train to Georgia, literally, and go on back to Spelman because ain't nothing for her in New York but danger.
There's another thing I did not.
I'm gonna let you have it.
I didn't understand it. We haven't seen this fool whole season.
With his
The
Duke perm.
only reason I could think that we're even getting this scene is because it's the setup for Origins.
Yeah, he finna
Because
work with Kanan and Breeze.
it makes no sense after what she did to this man that she
He
would
said it.
even go
Have the
back.
audacity to go here and ask him for help.
Right.
It
And not
showed
only
desperation.
and not only that, so I'm also confused because I'm like, yo, did he come back to New York or did she go down to Baltimore?
Well, this is a 4-hour drive, right?
Yeah, it's about a 4 hour. Yeah, it's about a 4 hour drive.
Maybe
Yeah,
she
yeah.
doing that. Maybe that's what she doing. Then maybe she running all around trying to find.
Or a train ride. I mean, well, yeah, it's still probably about a 4. Probably still like that was the only thing I didn't get with
Or
this
is he back
scene.
in New York? They didn't make that clear whether or not he was
Yeah, they
in
didn't
New
make it
York
clear, but
or
I
did she
didn't
go
like
down to
this
Baltimore. Yep.
because, like y'all said, now it make it look like Rock is begging number one, and then it's like number two.
And
We
begging
ain't
him.
seen or heard nothing, an inkling about this man, and bam, boom. Now here comes Tremont. So the only thing I got from this scene was they're setting it up for Origins.
Yeah, that's
the
all it's supposed.
that's
It
the
was
only
a
thing I got
setup.
out of this.
Yeah, this
I
was a
didn't like
setup.
the scene at all, man. I hated this scene, and because she's begging Tremont, it's just like out of all people, you beg this guy. Like this guy is somebody who would be a punk at the lunchroom in high school or something. Like how is you know what I'm saying? Like how did they get to this? I get that y'all want to show that Rock is
Mhm.
desperate, and it goes to she ain't never been for no man. Now she's asking every man possible, for a desperation
Help
shot.
me,
But
help me,
but exactly. But to this guy. I was like,
Exactly.
how did we get to this guy? Like, this is this guy.
because
I
we're this
understand
desperate.
Pino, Stefano.
It's because
I,
we're this desperate. That's why.
this is like we even when we get to that scene, she went to somebody's house and asked for a certain person. I even understand her going to that house and asking for that certain person. But this guy, no way.
I would have rather her saying go to whoever was next in line after Joaquin and did it.
Which I don't
That would have made
understand
more
why she
sense.
wouldn't do that. Who was his successor?
I
Right.
mean, we don't know, but I figure like if they had went to like, oh, this is Joaquin right hand man, it would have made more sense than them writing her going to
And I guess the
Tremont.
only borough in New York she could sell work in is Manhattan and Queens, I
Mm-hmm.
guess.
It did, but you see also in this scene though, is her
But she
pride
can't go to
still
Staten Island. She can't
her
go to
pride
Staten
still jumped in
Island.
front of stuff.
She can't go to the Bronx. I mean,
Support game and Tremont is in Origins for sure. He's definitely
yeah,
in Origins. Yeah.
he's definitely in Origins.
But you realize but you see what she said to him though, like just the other day, you know what I'm saying? You was ready to Nick Marvin, you know what I'm saying? Even now, her pride still
Mm-hmm.
jumps in front of things.
And now, and you know what? This is a very interesting person because I said that you got to go back and watch our casting video for Origins. They've announced him as a character in Origins. They actually announced him very early on, along with Ghost's grandmother. I think he was announced in that article that came out about Ghost's grandmother. You gotta go back and watch our video, but he's actually married to a Nico Ani Rose, the original jukebox in real life. So that was very interesting to see that he was tied to the original jukebox character in Power. He's married to her in real life. Um, yeah, the only thing I'll see this as again a backdoor pilot for his presence in Origins,
Yeah.
meaning that if Rock is going to him asking him for work, meaning that Kanan and Breeze is going to end up working for him because all of their connections are going to be gone after the events of next week's episode. Watch what I say now. That's the only reason why they got him here.
Mm-hmm.
He tell her, "Nah, I ain't doing nothing for you. And do you really think I would work for you after work with you after everything that you've done to me? You and your brother did to me." He was like, "I heard that you are a dead lady walking, and that I'm gonna piss on your grave when that time comes."
Yeah. So that's why I said earlier, if Trayvon was gonna take out you did it then. He know the Italians and everybody else after her. So he like, I ain't got nothing to do with it. I'm just gonna wait.
So going back to me and Jack's conversation off camera, this is the
Mhm.
first time we see dissension between Snap and Pop. And you
Mhm.
can even tell that by the distance between them. You notice they always walk together side by side, but the
Mhm.
fact that there's distance between them actually lets you re-emphasize the fact that they have a difference of opinion here. Um, and the topic of discussion is Breeze. So they're leaving to go and meet with Breeze, and of course, they are talking about a decision that has yet Breeze is yet to find out yet. He's going to find out, but basically, Pop was telling Snap that when we were young, we would have done the same thing too, or whatever. And of course, Snap is upset because they have found out about Breeze and his little side deal and whatever, and they're getting ready to go meet with him and part ways. But they're not in agreement with this, and they have words. And Snap says, "I expect." What did he say? Something to the effect of, "I expect my wife to understand that more than anything else."
Mhm.
Or whatever. So you can see for the first time that they are actually not on the same page with they scheming and scams.
Which I would have wanted. I wanted to see. And we talked about this in the shed some light on our backstage conversation. I would wanted to see more of why the decision was like they was just opposite spectrums when it came down to that decision. Because it seemed like Pops was trying to spare him, like, nah, let's not do that. We already know that they keep secrets and stuff like that. And then the whole DEF CON son and all those type of stuff, it just made me think there's so many different other layers that we could have had instead of seeing Aisha go to Juke house and then go over to Canaan house. Like we should have got more
Of
in
them
that conversation and more of
and
them from
and
this story.
Garcia and IA, like we needed more of this. If we were,
Yes.
especially if we were going to lose the characters in this episode, we needed more backstory because this could have rolled over into Origins. This could
Yes,
have rolled
absolutely.
over into Origins, and they could have been eliminated in Origins by the same person, same thing. Could
Yep.
have rolled over into Origins, so we could have had a little bit more time to allow us
I said the
to
same thing,
give
Dexter.
us that backstory of why they hate Rock so much and what was their past issue with Breeze.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to see that. We needed to understand that, so we could be on the lookout for that with Breeze going forward. Because I feel like Breeze is going to continue to do that going forward.
Hmm.
Is he's going to have his little side missions and whatever. And I think that might be I think that is going to be something. Either Breeze is going to be responsible for Ghost's father being unalive, or Kane is going to be responsible for um, Ghost's father being unalive. That's a side mission that one of them is going to do without the knowledge of the other. Just wait for it and watch. Juke is doing her thing, and she got a taxi driver that she got watching Snap and Pop, and she told the taxi driver to follow them. So she's peeping them out. And we, to be quite honest with you, the fact that Snap and Pop security, she wasn't that far down the street. She wasn't that far down the street, like maybe 3-4 cars down the street or whatever. The fact that the security didn't sweep the area just let me know that Snap and Pop ain't got the right type of security detail. They remember how Hafiz people caught Breeze
Yes.
watching from down the street.
Yeah, but I mean, Breeze, he parked like damn near right not
Behind
too far
him.
in front of their joint. Yeah, so it's like that's how like she's behind them.
I guess, but
So
it just seems a little far fetched that Juke
yeah,
would be able to get the drop on him like this.
It seemed like because they so high level, they would have definitely
Exactly.
because they're high level. These are not mid tier
Yeah.
people in the game. They are extremely high level. Their names ring
And
that's
how they're
true.
so
everywhere in games.
fortified inside that fucking restaurant all the
That's
time.
true.
They're so
Yes.
But you
fortified
also
in that restaurant.
got to think about it that a lot of people don't think like they're still in the game because remember when we first got introduced to them, they said
Mhm.
somewhat quote unquote like a lot of people don't think that they're still in the excuse me, they're in the game. So like they're not looking over their shoulders because like a lot of people think like we're out of the game. And they got so many people on payroll, so many cops, all this different other stuff. So they probably wouldn't even think like, ain't nobody coming after us. Like, so that's how I looked at it.
Hey, Harley's treasure. So the reason why Rock went looking for Unique and then Pernessa when she knows that they left town was because she wanted to find out where they went.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted
Mhm.
to try to meet back up with Unique to try to convince him to throw in with her again. So that was the reason
Mhm.
why she went over there to Pernessa's mama house looking for them, hoping that Pernessa's mom would give up their location so she could go and have a conversation with Unique again out of desperation. Unique left there as an enemy for you. Why in the world do you think that if you were pulled up on him at his new location that he wouldn't have a bullet waiting for you when you got there? It just shows how desperate Rock was.
Which
Okay,
is
so
crazy
Fresh,
because
that
I would
makes
have accepted
sense.
that.
That makes sense. But Juke doing her thing. And the fact that Juke is so low key out here in these streets and the way she move, even the fact that she's able to go and do this, nobody sees Juke as a threat. Nobody sees Juke coming. Juke is so low key behind the scenes. She not loud with what she do, so she's able to kind of blend in plain sight. And just like how she got the drop on them, even when she walked up on them, they didn't even think of her as a threat per se.
Nope.
They just looked at her as someone walking in the park. And it wasn't until she strapped up on them or she upped on them that we'll talk about that when we get there. So the fact that they met Breeze out here in this park when they could have simply just called him back
Had
to
him
the
to the
restaurant.
restaurant. They always met in the restaurant.
That's where they had the original conversation with him at, or they could have went to Breeze's pawn shop.
I think the reason they did it,
Plot device for Jukebox to walk up on them and kill them. That's
well,
why.
that and another reason, I think another reason why they did it is because if in this scene right here, remember they tell him you're out, so they cut him off. So like there there
They
can't
part
be any
ways. They wanted to part ways with him.
yeah. So like they can't he can't retaliate in any way, shape, or form because they're out in public, which means he will be seen. Like I mean, they probably or I get what you're saying. They probably could have just did it at the bar, like, and Breeze could have retaliated. He would have made it out. But I just looked at it as like they just did it out in the open to say like, yo, like we know what you've been doing, and now like you're cut off, but you can't retaliate because we're out in the open. That's how I looked at it as.
As desperate as she was, she would have been glad if she would have took that help. If Pernessa Mama said she wanted to join the crew, she would have took it. She would have took whatever help she could get from anybody who was willing to help her.
She would have.
Yeah, she would
Right,
have. She was
because he
desperate.
was cut off.
Yeah, because he was cut off. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Because me and Jack was talking about that. Like this right here just didn't make sense that they would go out here this far out in public and not have a security detail around them, even at a distance. And just not have a security detail watching them from a distance. Anytime we see them meet with anyone else in the past, they've always had someone from a distance watching or whatever. So all this was just plot armor to have Jukebox walk up on them in a tunnel and unalive them. That's all this was. Breeze's reaction to being fired was a little off-putting as well. He was almost kind of like begging for help. Like, I didn't expect Breeze to go out like that. I expected Breeze to say, well, fuck you. I don't need y'all anyway. I can get up on my own. But the fact that he was a little bit of begging a little bit. He was begging a little bit like, no, please. Let me make this right. Let me give you all the money that I made off of the pill shit. So basically, we didn't talk about it, but Basically, Snap and Pop fired him because they found out that the pill hustle, the little side hustle he was doing with the Latino boys, they started talking. And through their police connections, they find out that they dropped the dime on Breeze. So because of that, and Snap had previously warned him that he was not to do any side hustles, they fired him and told him that he was going to be replaced. Do y'all think, even though they didn't say it, do y'all think that their initial plan was to replace him with Kanan?
No. And Fear
I
No
don't think so either.
Morals, you make a good point. I think another reason why they met with him in the park is because they found out about those two dudes snitching on him. So they didn't want Breeze to come to the bar because that would make them hot. So they met out in public.
Oh, that's right. That Fresh, you got it, bro.
That makes sense.
You got it, because now once they find out that he been told on,
Yeah, he been told on.
they
Like,
disassociating themselves with him.
They disassociating themselves. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Make good
So
sense.
yeah. So thank you, Fear No More. So that makes even more sense. And so that's exactly why they met in the park and say like, "Yo, you're done because we told you no side hustles and you decided to do it anyway."
Bet on that. Okay, got it.
Yep.
Got it. Y'all just made that make sense for me. Support gaming, no. He not gonna feel bad anyway, no way, shape, form, or fashion about them being gone. Relieved is definitely what he's gonna feel. Because he can spin that narrative any kind of way he want. Because remember, Kanan is not present in this conversation, so Kanan is never going to know that he was being fired by Snap and Pop. So this gonna file it away for a rainy day type situation. Breeze gonna get up on his feet on his own. He already up on his feet because remember he getting product from Hafiz up until Rock tell on his ass, or either that Hafiz going to end up fleeing back to Afghanistan before he get arrested. Either way, he ain't gonna get no more work from Hafiz.
And remember, he also said to Kanan, these old folks gotta get out of the way.
The old folks got to get out of the way.
So yeah, he ain't gonna feel no type of way. Especially now that they fired him, he ain't gonna feel no type of way.
And
Right.
especially after they're unalive. So
Yeah.
that's just kill two birds with one stone type situation. The fact that Breeze didn't pursue them after this, it would have been dope if Breeze would have witnessed, and maybe they will show that. I don't know. It would have been dope if Breeze would have witnessed Juke putting them down and told Kanan that your cousin put Snap and Pop down, but Kanan probably gonna know she did it anyway, so it don't matter.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Kanan gonna know anyway.
Yeah, he gonna know.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah.
this was the best. This was the best part of the whole episode.
All right, I'll let you have it then, bro.
But like you, the only thing I didn't understand was why they were taking a walk in the park. Like
Stroll.
I would have thought
A
after
stroll.
they left Breeze, they would have got back in the car.
I think they were heading back to the car.
Nah,
They just didn't show us. They didn't show
Okay.
us. They didn't show us that this was the route that they took to meet up with Breeze. But I'm
Okay.
assuming that they're turning around and going back the same direction that they came to meet Breeze at. So I think this is was the path that they were taking to go back to the car.
Okay, now it makes sense because I didn't understand it. I'm like, yo, why y'all walking through the park when y'all could just walk straight to the car and got back in the car?
Yeah.
So
This was if they would have shown us, all they needed to do was show us them walking up to Breeze and them walking through this tunnel to get to Breeze in the park.
Mhm.
And all this was is them turning around and going back the same path that they traveled. All this was just plot armor for Juke to encounter them here in this tunnel. That's all this was.
okay,
It just wasn't poorly executed. It was poorly executed. But yes, Fear No Mortals. Yes, that is correct. They did say here. So actually, I answered my own question. Or you just answered it for me when I asked, did they have plans on replacing Breeze with Kanan? No, they plan on getting back in the field themselves. You're right. Fear No Mortals.
yep. So here they are doing
Like what they
another-
were going to do.
Not a damn thing. They walking through the tunnel, and having that whole conversation. I don't even know how they didn't even see. Well, of course
did
they
see
don't
her,
know,
but again, she wasn't a threat.
but they
Yeah,
don't know
she's
shit
walking up,
too.
but then, well, actually, Pops knows it because Pops the one that said, "Oh, it's
But she
Kane's
didn't recognize her until later on.
She got
until
closer. Yeah.
she got closer. At that point, she didn't even look at Juke as or this a threat walking up to us, or whatever the case may be. It wasn't until she pulled a gat on them and said, "You put down Famous."
Yeah, okay. I didn't even. So yeah, I have to refresh my memory. I didn't even know that they even knew who Juke was or what she looked like.
Yep.
I
Pop said
really,
it.
I
Pop
really
said it.
didn't.
Yeah, Pop said it. Snap didn't know who she was, no, but because
Yeah.
remember she told Snap who she was. That's Kanan's cousin. He was like, "Oh, this shit again."
Because he kind of
Oh, that's
relaxed a
right.
little
That's
bit
right.
after he found out that it was Katie cousin. Like he had his hands
Exactly.
up, and he just was like, "Here we go with this again."
That's right. Sure did. That's right. Man, like I said, this is Juke darkness. This is when we see it turn dark.
I don't
Well,
think
this was
she's
the
dark right here. I don't
well,
look at her as being dark here.
well. Of course, now that we found out that Marvin is gone, but I feel like this was like the start of her.
She finished what she started. Because remember, last season they were running around when she pulled her strap. She was more darker in that scene with Freddie's crew than she was here with them when she shot the basketball out of the air and she took that gat and rubbed it up against old boy Acne. And talking about if I find out you lying to me, I'm gonna put your people down. I'm gonna put you down. She was more unhinged there than she was here. I just look at this as she was finishing what she started. She made a promise to herself and to Fame, per se, that she was going to put down whoever put down Fame, and she just kept that promise. She did us a favor right here. She got rid of our op.
Yeah, I also feel, but I just feel like this is like the very beginning of her, like her being the what they always
The
say,
two box we met in OG Power.
yeah, like the villain is like, yo, like now I'm
Is she
circling
really
the
a
block.
villain right here?
I mean, not
Vigilante,
a,
I
but you
yes.
know
think
that saying where they be like, yo, this is like their villain story. Like
Yeah.
this is where it starts at. Like,
Nah,
this
I
is
I
look at
agree.
her
this
as
I
a
is
agree
the
hero.
with
beginning.
Fresh.
I look
I
at
agree
her as
with
a
Fresh for
hero right
sure.
here. She a hero.
I agree with Fresh. I agree with Fresh because not only did she take care of business, she walked up and did a close up. Like
And
after she
and,
put him
and,
down.
and
Like
you
that's
gonna see
personal.
me. You gonna see me. Right.
That's super personal.
And she told him what it was for.
Yeah, because remember when she unalived that dude, that was by accident.
No,
Yeah.
that was
Here,
she was
after
trying
Well,
to
no,
save
it was by
Marvin. She was
accident.
trying to
Yeah,
save
she was trying to
Marvin.
say Marvin.
She
well,
was trying to
yeah,
save Marvin.
but
She did that out of fear, scared.
at this one right
This was
here,
personal. This is a walk
even
down.
Yeah,
after
this was
she laid
personal.
them down,
This
she
was a walk
shot
down.
again.
Yep.
She made
Yep.
sure they were gone. So
Yep.
this is like the beginning of her villain story.
Well, you know, she's been itching to do this anyway. We've been seeing her playing with this gat forever and a day.
That's true.
And remember when them white boys walked up on her when she was walking down the street in one of those, I think it was last season, she was walking down the street.
And
And
one of them
one
said
of
something
what you're talking
crazy.
about. When
one of them
she
said
was
something
going
to her.
the
She was
bar.
like, "Oh, I like black girls" or whatever. Then she was reaching for the
Yeah.
gat. Then she been itching to up on somebody anyway. So this was just her satisfying that hunger, I guess. That growing hunger that she. But at the end of the day, I think she was also motivated by the fact that it was satisfying for her when she found out that it was them. Because remember, she had already told Kanan previously that she didn't trust Bonnie and Clyde anyway, and he didn't need to be fooling with them. So she was already kind of looking at them sideways, and knowing that they were the ones that were responsible for what happened to Fame, that was just this was a satisfying moment for her.
And then it's like normally when people are that high, it's like somebody will retaliate. But I think they got because they fired their next to Ken. He definitely ain't going. Like he definitely don't care at this point.
So Lamar, you're right. I'm glad she did do what Kanan was too punk to do. But at the end of the day, if Kanan, this would force, going back to what I said earlier, this forces Kanan to admit that he's been wrong. So it's better for him to hold on to this. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. Fame got what he deserved because it forces him to have to face reality that he was wrong about his mama. Do y'all think this scene was believable, or do you think that they could have did it better?
Absolutely could have did it better.
They could
What's
have
your
did it better,
version
but
of
it's
this
still
scene?
believable.
It is believable, absolutely. What do you think? What's a better version of this? I wanted them to
I think
be
they
a little
could have.
bit more gruesome. I wanted it to be more gruesome, to be honest with you. I did. I ain't gonna lie.
I think they could have
Yeah,
did it
that was
better only because like me and you talked about it, Retro. only because them walking through the tunnel, and I get they going back to their car, and whatever, or they ride it how they got there. It just seemed like they would have a little bit more security, and it would be a little bit more strategic to get to somebody like them at their level. That's the only reason why I think it could have been done better.
That is true, Lamar. They both have that same. They both suffer from the same problem, and it's their ego and their pride. Yep.
I thought about this.
I thought about this too, but it does not make
Mm.
sense. The continuity is what throws this off for me, because we see here. We'll get there. Let's get there later. Let's
Okay.
get there later.
All right. Yeah,
Let's save this. Let's get there later,
We've been
because
here
there's
for
a
a
lot to
minute.
talk
Let's get
about
there.
with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Let's
got
get
a
there
lot.
later.
To me,
All
I
right.
felt like this thing was unnecessary, but
It
that's
was
just me.
unnecessary, but it's just reaffirming for us the desperation that the character Rock. Again,
Mhm.
Jack said it perfectly earlier, and I could not agree more. We have always heard Rock say from day one that she don't get on her knees for nobody. Right now, for the first time, we see Rock is on her knees. And she's going from place to place, begging and begging, because right now, again, she has no help. So Unique has helped her in the past. They worked together in the past. He saved her in the past. So
Mhm.
this was kind of like my last hope, that if I can get in touch with Unique, I'll have somebody to back me again. Nah, Pernessa Mama ain't going. She come to the door and say, "How may I help you?" She says, "Can I help you?" She said, "Oh, I know who you are." She was like, nah, they have left New York and they ain't coming back. And if you bring your ass back over here again, I got a gun and I know how to
Got
use
something
it."
waiting for you.
She should have came to the door with it and tapped on the screen door with it, like, "Can I help you?"
Hmm.
It just shows Rock's desperation. Rock go over there, asking Pernessa Mama for the location for Unique, and Pernessa telling me she a friend of them. She's like, "I know who you are." And like, did you really think that her mama was going to tell you, of all people, where they were? It just screams, "I'm desperate.
Further show the desperation.
Go home, Rock." I feel like when she, on her drive back from Baltimore, this was the next idea that she came up with. She was like, "Okay, where else can I go now?" Like, she going from place to place, trying to rekindle relationships with people that she's worked with in the past, and those relationships are severed. But in her mind, she feels like Rock has burned every bridge that she's crossed. Every
Hmm.
bridge that she's went across, she's burned. And I think that we're going to see her continue to do this in next week's episode. I think next week's episode, her meeting with Kanan, is going to be a similar meeting where she's trying to resolve her issue with Kanan. I think she's going to go back over to Stefano and try to beg for him to leave her alone. It's just
Uh-huh.
continuing to see her on her knees, which ultimately is going to force her to take that deal. That lady slammed the door in her face and tell her to beat it. She at the house. She ain't even drinking and thinking. She just thinking at this point, like, what the fuck am I going to do now? Now what do I do? When Juke came to that door and she said, you could see look at her expression on her face.
Right.
It's like a sign of relief almost that
It
you
was a
said
sign of
something
relief,
there.
because finally
Yeah.
somebody that don't hate me, somebody that believe me, somebody that believe in me, someone that got faith in me, somebody that care about me. That's what this look represents. This look represents hope, until she found out about Marvin. Juke came over there to tell her that, "I know that you didn't put Famous down, but we
Hmm.
needed to see more of this conversation. Get rid of that shit with Aisha. The two scenes with Aisha, you could have gotten rid of. The scene with Garcia and IA, you could have gotten rid
Internal
of,
affairs, yeah.
and spent more time with this scene right here. Let's have Juke and Rock have a conversation. Let's let them make up. Let's let Juke tell Rock about what she found out about Bonnie and Clyde. Rock needed some intel from here. And we've always saw Juke in the past give Rock that intel. We
Hmm.
needed to see more of a conversation here with
I
Rock.
thought we was
And
going to get that.
I thought we was going to get it too. They robbed
We
us of
should
that.
have.
At this point, so everybody think that Marvin thought here in this scene that he was getting ready to be put down. Maybe so.
I didn't
I
think
think
that.
in this scene, I didn't either. I think in this scene right here, he did come to the resolve that I'm probably getting ready to get locked up
Yep,
behind this bullshit.
that's
Let me
exactly what I
tighten up
thought.
my stuff. He don't go, went and got up
Hmm.
all the rest of the money he got.
Hmm.
He writing a Dear John letter to Juke. Who
Hmm.
knows what it's going to say? It's probably going to say some of the similar things that we saw with the fake letter that's
Hmm.
online right now. Y'all don't believe that letter is real.
I
It's
don't
not
believe that
real.
letter is real at all.
It's written by AI. It's not real.
That wouldn't make any
However,
sense.
I think some of the points in the letter probably is some of the things that he's probably thinking right now. Is his
Hmm.
way of saying goodbye to Juke and telling her that he wants her to go and do something with her life. Don't be out here in these streets. Don't rip and run. Because I think that's why Juke
Right.
decides to do her hustle differently than how just out here selling drugs and ripping and running the streets and
Hmm.
dropping bodies. So I think Marvin does leave a message to her, and I think he ultimately tells her to look after Rock as well. Maybe I could be wrong. It might be a stretch, but I think the letter gives Jukebox his final wishes for her in that letter. I think that's what that letter represents. So he writes a letter, and he gets a suitcase full of money, which he could have just left in the house, in her room, up under her bed, whatever. But plot device, him taking it to the church.
I don't think so no more, Dexter. After she shushed up her story, I
Well, I
don't
think
think
he
so.
already told her. Remember, I think that was a reason why they met last week because he wanted her to look after Amber or whatever. And some people seem to think that's what she's meeting with Flossie about next week for is to look after Amber, but I don't see it.
I mean, it could be, but yeah,
I don't
that's
know.
a long stretch. That's a
It
long
is a
stretch.
long stretch. It's a real long stretch. Did y'all have any different feelings about what the contents of this letter right here? What did y'all think he was writing in this letter?
Same thing. Like I said, I looking at this scene now. Granted, in hindsight, well, we know what we know. I looked at this no more as like, yo, yeah, he's preparing to go to jail. And that's what it is. So he's writing this letter to Juke, like, yo, here's some funds. Because remember, he told her, was it last episode or the episode before that? He told, matter of fact, I think it was the episode before that, where she wanted to get in the game and she wanted to move work through the low life crew. And he told her straight up, like, nah, you go and get out of here. Excuse me. You go get out of here and have a different life. So I think that's what he's writing in this letter, along with the money, saying, like, yo, you take this money, you get out of here, get out of the family business, you go live a totally different life, and you get out of New York. So I think that's all it was because he felt like, yo, my time is coming to an end. I'm about to get ready to go to jail for the unaliving of Amber's foster parents or whatever. That's how I looked at it because
What
that's
do
the
you
only
think
thing that
about
makes sense.
Lamar's comment?
Something in the letter says if anything happened to him, it's probably done by Kanan or Bree since he hit up. Nah, I don't. That wouldn't. I don't. That wouldn't make sense. And Lamar, I'm gonna get back to why that wouldn't make sense. It's a certain scene in this episode why I don't think that's in the letter. And we'll get back. I'm gonna piggyback off this comment when we get to a certain scene. Why I don't think that would happen. Why I don't think that's in the letter.
All right, y'all. So there's over 70 people in this chat right now. We only got 34 likes on this video. I need y'all to help get those likes up. We need about another 35 of them likes. Get them likes up, y'all. We appreciate that. Okay. Yeah, I don't tend to agree with that either, that he would have name dropped Kanan specifically in this letter because that meant she would have been on a witch hunt for Kanan. But OG power continuity conflicts with that. So that's what my issue is with that per se. I don't think that because even when Kanan, we'll talk about it when we get to that scene, Lamar. Remind me of this when we get to that scene. We're gonna talk about that when we get to that scene, Lamar. I just don't think that that's what's happened here. All right, well, we're here actually. Marvin pulls up to the church and Kanan pull up in that Honda Accord. We seen that same Honda Accord sitting outside of the warehouse. When he met with Breeze earlier, he creeping. He watching Marvin go into the church. Marvin gives the briefcase to the pastor and tells the pastor that, look, if anything happened to you, this is like a makeshift trust that he set up for Jude, basically. If anything happened to me, I need you to make sure this get to my daughter. And if any of it go missing, something gonna happen to you. And he break the pastor off of his a couple of dollars and tell the pastor, thank you for all the counseling and all the time you took up with me. This Marvin has spent a lot of time at this church. I don't like the fact that this was the venue that was selected for Marvin's departure. When he was going to the church looking for solace, when he was going to the pastor looking for peace at what happened to Lou, for him to lose his life here, that was just real poorly done. And I have talked to so many people. Shout out to everyone that has left comments on our videos this week and our posts on our IG page this week. If you're not following us on Instagram, please follow us on Instagram as well. I've had a lot of conversations with people over the last week about this, and we all kind of share the same opinion on this, that this was a place where Marvin was going to for peace. And the fact that he ended up losing his life here was just poorly done. And again, we keep recycling this over and over and over again in the Power universe. It's getting redundant, poorly executed, and just lazy writing right now to keep having family members take out family members. But to have this man take him out in a church, this is a sacred place where people go for worship and peace and relief. This was just poorly done. If they were going to have Kanan unalive him, choose somewhere else besides the church.
I think the only reason they showed Kanan unalive him in the church because it was just a show. Because remember, the synopsis says how ruthlessness he was. So this is just to show how ruthless he's become. That he was willing to walk in a church and unalive Marvin in the church. That's how I looked at it.
He is disgusting. Just absolutely disgusting person. Marvin, the pastor tell Marvin that he finna go take the money next door and put it up for safekeeping, that he needed to stay there because he wanted to continue the conversation. Spinning shoes and Timberlands don't sound the same. So when he heard Kanan walking up, he should have turned around immediately to see who that was, because he knew himself that wasn't the pastor. That wasn't the same footsteps you heard walk off. The situational awareness would have told me these ain't the same footsteps that I heard walk off versus walk up. But again, Marvin was not on guard.
Yeah, because
Marvin was in a place where he felt safe.
Yep.
So the fact that Kanan was able to walk up, even when Kanan walks up, that's why I feel like, going back to your question, Lamar, this is why I feel like he didn't name drop Kanan in the letter, because even in this moment right here, when Kanan shows up, he didn't think that Kanan was there to rob the church. He didn't think that Kanan was there to put him down.
Yep.
Even when he pulled a get out, he was like, you that cruddy that you getting ready to come and rob a church? What did he say, Damon? I wasn't here to rob a church.
Yep.
I ain't here for that Uncle Marvin. The fact that he's still calling him Uncle Marvin at this point is...
Yeah. That's why I say to so many people, like we said about that letter, that's why I feel it's fake. Because there's no way you can put that in a letter and then they're going to write it where he walks in the church and he's surprised to see Kanan come into church. And then, like you said, think he's going to rob the church. Where if he thought it was going to be Kanan that was going to be the one to put him down, immediately he would have his thought process like, yo, really? You going to do this here?
Diabolical. It was just poorly done. But we've been going back and forth about this scene since the first time we saw it in our trailer. Yeah, we have been going back and forth about it. We thought it was Marvin. We thought it was Aisha. We thought it was this person. But our first thoughts have always been that it was Kanan putting Marvin down in the church.
That's true.
Beyond our wildest beliefs, did we want this prediction to be true? We just didn't think that this was going to be the way that Marvin left, and damn sure was. Any comments on the conversation between Marvin and Kanan right here? I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I mean, Marvin does foreshadow his fate.
I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Marvin was tired.
He was tired. He gave up. He had no giving up. Marvin didn't have no more fight in him.
That's true. That's very true. However, hold on. Before I get into my next point, nah, I feel it was just a stretch because it's just surprises to this universal power. Now Marvin didn't think, nor did we think it was going to happen in church. I mean, that's true. That's true. I just didn't think.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to happen in the church either.
I didn't think it was going to happen in the church, and I also didn't think it was going to be like, matter of fact, to piggyback what you said earlier, retro, and the shootout scene. It could have been where he came there to shoot out, and then Kanan just throwing shots back, and he's the one to unalive Marvin. Like that there,
and we would have been satisfied with that.
I would have been like, okay, yeah, he just hitting back, or whether it was Breeze. I just didn't think it was going to be Kanan rolling up on Marvin in a church to take him out.
Marvin said, "You're not gonna get over this, boy." He was like,
Right.
"This gonna stay with you for a while." He was like, "You'll eventually get over it, but this gonna stay with you a while. You're gonna see me in your nightmares. You're gonna see me in your dreams." And Kanan like, "I'll get over it." Marvin said, "You're gonna be all alone, and ain't nobody gonna miss you because you ain't gonna have nobody left to miss you." And I'll be damned if he wasn't right about that. Because everybody that cared anything about him,
yep,
he eliminated. That's the crazy part about it, is the people that actually loved him was the people that he unalived.
That's true.
But to me, I felt like this was not Kanan putting Marvin down because of the beatdown. Again, if this is the reason why he wanted to put Marvin down, he would have already put Marvin down for that.
I didn't think that either.
This was the battery that Snap and Pop put in his back. And you still letting these people manipulate you.
Yep.
But this is him carrying his lie. This is him keeping his lie going. That I got to be an op against my family because my family is the reason why all this is happening. No, you're the believe in Snap and Pop. Everything they tell you is the reason why all this happened.
Yeah. I believe that 100%.
You have destroyed your entire bloodline, including your own son. There's nobody left to carry the Thomas name, the Stark name, anything forward right now. You are the reason why everybody gone.
Yep. And this was something right here, and I'm glad they brought it up, that I didn't understand. And I get it, this is Marvin. He was at peace. But at the same time, I'm just like, yo, y'all rode it with Marvin and go out in the blaze of glory? Like, I thought for at least a split second, like, I get it. He was trying to calm him down, trying to talk him out of whatever. But I thought for at least a split second that Marvin was going to at least draw on him.
Because Marvin he had a strap.
There's no way he went in that church with
his
peace.
There's no way.
Yeah, this is Marvin we talking about. Marvin always he had a gat laying beside him on the night on the alarm
clock.
Yeah,
there's no way he went in that church without.
He even told Juke before, he was like, I put guns everywhere. So I don't understand, and this is why I'm like, he should have at least drawn.
Because he was at peace. Again, he was in a place where he didn't feel like. Keep in mind all the previous visits he's had to the church. He's in a place where he's comfortable. He's comfortable. He's not looking for his mess on the outside to follow him to this place. This was a place that was a sanctuary for him. And so even when Kanan walked up, he just thought that Kanan was in there just to create problems at the church, not realizing that Kanan was there to put him down. Because Marvin could have really got the drop on him when Kanan walked up on him. Kanan didn't have his gat in his hand. He pulled it out. Marvin could have got a drop on him real easy. Our Marvin would have gotten a drop on him, but it's like you said, Jack. You said it best when you said Marvin was tired. Marvin tired.
He was tired, man. He was just over it. It was just too much. He said it was too much for him to go back. So this was his only way out. And he figured Marvin is, I think from the beginning, Marvin would rather his story end like this than him to go to jail, for sure.
Well, he knew that he couldn't outrun his past. Because keep in mind, he kept thinking over and over again that all of his bad doings was going to come back and be a problem for Juke. So at this point, he has accepted his fate. And that's why he didn't try to plead with Kanan. He told Kanan exactly what he thought about him. What I didn't like about this scene was when he put Marvin down, why they had to show it to us three times
Okay,
and from different angles.
that was my gripe.
I knew it was. It was mine
Yeah.
too.
I'm like, bro, when I first saw it, I'm like, are y'all serious? I'm like, bro, y'all show it 3 different angles. I'm like, we've never had any time
Even when
somebody's
Ghost
been
was
put
unalive.
down. Unalive, we seen 3 different angles. I was like, and this is how y'all do it? Like, really?
Like they knew that this was a fan favorite. They knew that we, the audience, was going to be hurt by this. They knew that we, the audience, was going to have an issue with that. So they just gave it to us in slow mo. They gave it to us from different angles. They wanted to let us know that the character that we love the most on this show is out of here. It's like pouring salt into a wound, twisting the knife. That's what that felt like.
That's exactly what it felt like. Because I didn't and I thought at a certain point, even after when Marvin says to him, like, are we gonna do this or what? I thought at a certain point that Marvin was gonna reach to pull out his piece, and then, bow. Okay, he
Kanan
got
thought it too when he was reaching for his cigarette. He was like, "No, let me get this cigarette. I'm gonna light this cigarette or whatever." At this point, Marvin had already accepted his fate. He wasn't even trying to. I think he was. I think he realized that everything that he had been telling his sister about her son, he came to that realization himself that this boy is truly evil. There ain't no helping him. Ain't no saving him.
I mean, that's true, but I still just would have wished the only reason it annoys me is because we saw what Marvin said to Kanan Pride, like, yo, I'm a real gangster. You can't even like
Be
you
on
not
my
even
level.
yeah, you're not even on my level. So just to see Marvin go out without it, even him trying to draw his weapon is what made it. And then, like you said, we see it in slow motion in 3 different angles. It's just like, yo, okay, we about to rub this in y'all face that we took out Marvin. That was like the main joint where I had an issue with it. It's just like, yo, y'all would do this. We're like, y'all didn't even give him a chance to up his weapon, and then you gonna give us 3 different angles and continue to torture us with his unaliving. Like, this is what y'all thought was good. Like, that was the part that, like, this was probably the biggest part of the whole episode that I had with the episode, was just this in general.
I think M2's comment pretty much gives us an answer for that. They didn't want us to question whether or not he was gone or not. They wanted to make sure that they know that we know that there is no more for Marvin. And I think that's why they showed us Marvin in the casket as well in the preview, because normally they don't do that.
Yeah.
Normally they let us speculate as to who it
Mhm.
is, but I think they wanted us to not have that debate that whether or not Marvin was here or not, that Marvin was gone. And he's gone. And Marvin is gone.
But I don't think we would have had that.
And you're right,
because-
Alex. Either way, we still grieve.
Right. But I don't think we would have had it because we saw him hit Marvin 3 times in the mask. So I think at that point we'd have known he's gone.
Yeah. But somebody said it earlier. Somebody said it in the comments, but they didn't give him a headshot. But them 3 to the chest. One of them hit the heart.
Yeah, nah, we knew Marvin was gone.
We
once he
knew the
hit that
character
forward.
needed to go. We knew the character was on his way out. We're fine with that. What my biggest issue with is, why did it have to fucking be Kanan? I am so tired of family members putting family members down in the Power Universe. This is getting sick at this point. This is getting overused at this point. And it's just like, can y'all figure out some other creative way to eliminate characters on the show? They have many enemies on the show, but why do y'all choose the family member to be the one? What are you giving us? What are you trying to tell us in the story? That this is what makes Kanan a real gangster, a real killer? What I mean, this guy goes on to do other unspeakable horrible things in unaliving other people that weren't family members. We knew that the man was deranged and crazy in OG Power. You didn't have to give us this in order for us to resonate with the character that he was a sociopath. We already
I
knew that he was a
couldn't agree more.
sociopath.
I couldn't agree more, man. They could have gave us the times pulling up on them. They could have gave us like so many different. The times just made so many enemies. Don't tell them what. Why give us something regurgitated with another family member taking out
And
another
you know what
family
I
member?
really have a big issue with is it's always the black characters that do it. It's always the black characters do it. Well, I mean, what Tommy did it with Teresi, but that was a little bit different thing. That Tommy really didn't have a real relationship with Teresi, other than the one that he established in the season that he met him in. But this man has tried to raise you, who's tried to mentor you. He's your family. He showed you love. Like this was an unaliving that wasn't necessary, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. And the youth that we have today in today's world watching stuff like this feel like this is okay to do. Like I don't like the message that it represents for our community. I don't like the message that it represents our youth, letting our youth know that it's okay to put an adult down, a parent down, a family member down because you don't agree with their ways. It's just not a good representation of our community. That may be, I know it's a fictional story, but sometimes people look at fictional things and apply that to everyday life. So everyone doesn't look at this from an adult mindset. And I just don't like the message that it conveys. It's sick. And I'm tired of seeing it in every show.
I would agree with that.
This nappy head, sorry ass. I can't fucking stand Kanan now. I still hate Tariq, but my Tariq meter has probably went down to about 6.5 with my hatred for Tariq. Kanan is up there probably about 100.5. I cannot stand this motherfucker.
Yeah,
And the
and
fact that we got to go off. This makes me not want to watch Origins, just like I didn't want to watch Book 2 Season 1 when it first came out, because I don't want to spend time with this character. I don't want to root for this character.
Yep.
I don't want to see this character win. I don't want to see this character come up. I want to see nothing but bad things happen to this character. I want karma. I'm ready to see karma come back and get this character. But the reality of it is we got a long way to go before Kanan gets any of his get back for his dirty deeds. I think the closest that we'll get to it in Origins is when we see Ghost and Tasha set his ass up and send his ass to jail.
Yep.
Thank God we get that. But we don't see the end of the character until OG Power season 4, season 3, season 4, somewhere around there.
Who knows? With the way they canceling shows, we might not even get to that. We might just get to season 3 and call it a
I'm
wrap.
not excited for Origins right now. This right here has tainted my Origins experience. Like, how can you possibly want to even see anything good happen for his character after what he's done? And then we still don't know what's going to happen next week. So let's get into next week's episode
with Rock. Like I said, if what I think they're gonna do with Rock, I'm definitely not gonna be happy with Origins. Remember the same way how you said with Book 2 with Tariq. Remember, I didn't even watch because I was like, I don't even care. So like, it's probably gonna be that all over again.
All over again.
It's gonna be deja vu all over again.
Yep. All right, so we got Marvin's funeral. Boy, they don't waste no time putting you in the ground over there. And I'm glad, I said this in the chat last night, I'm glad to see Marvin buried with his chains. I thought Kanan broke bummy ass was going to run Marvin's pockets and chains. I'm glad to see that he put Marvin in his chains, because that was part of Marvin's look. All they needed right here was to put Marvin's shades on, put his shades on. Because he always had his shades on and put them chains on. That's Marvin. That's how I want to see Marvin.
And I think in this scene, well, not this one, but this right here, I think Rock is going to suspect something.
Regret? Because you see remorse on his face. His countenance shows remorse.
No, I mean not Kanan. I think that's where Rock is going to kind of put 2 and 2 together, that it was Kanan that took him out. Because remember when they remember at Lou's funeral, like how...
I'm right there with you, share my love.
Like, remember at Lou's funeral, like how expressed regret then, and she saw it on his face that like he was the one that took out. I think it's gonna be that exact same thing, and Rock
With
is gonna
Juke.
probably try to put two and two together.
You mean
That
Juke.
like, yo, I think it's gonna be Juke.
You mean Juke, not Rock. Because Rock already knew that he had put Lou down.
No, that's what I'm saying. She knew that he put him down, so she's gonna see that the same facial expression, and she's gonna put two and two together. That Kanan was the one who put Marv down.
So yes, Origins has the potential to be really good. I think the only thing that will save Origins for us, for those of us who have spent 5 seasons with Kanan over here in Raising Kanan, and watching him do all the dumb shit that he done and take out his entire family, it's going to be hard for us to sit through Origins and watch him continue this type of pattern. The only thing that I think that will redeem Origins is if they pull back off Kanan's character and focus more on the young Ghost and Tommy.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't see Kanan in every episode. Maybe we see Kanan every once in a while. If they spend less time with the Kanan character in Origins, then Origins will be good. But if it's a Kanan-centric show, just like Raising Kanan was, if it's the whole show centered around Kanan, then it's going to be a very difficult watch for us. But if Kanan becomes a recurring character in Origins, a background character in Origins, until later seasons in Origin, then we might can get through Origins. But if we have to spend a lot of time with Kanan and Breeze in Origins, then it's going to be a hard watch for us, y'all.
I think he will. I think Kanan's going to be in like every episode of Origins.
You know he probably is.
Yeah.
Just like Tariq in Book 2 goes. So it's the end of a new era. Right here, what's on his mind right here?
I'm trying to figure out who visited him, because that's his crib. I'm just wondering.
Juke?
That's what I was thinking.
I was thinking Juke too. It's either Juke, because shit ain't nobody else left to come. It don't kill everybody else. Shit ain't nobody else left to come and see him. It ain't Marvin. We know that. It could be Breeze. It might be Breeze coming to tell him that his uncle has been put down, or to come and ask him, yo, they found your uncle in the church. Did you do that? It's either Breeze or Juke.
Yeah. This is who I'm wondering. Who is this?
And she looked like she had somebody's house. That looked like a TV in the background.
It is somebody's house.
It's a TV and it's an art painting, but I just can't figure out who it is, because whatever this scene is, we've never seen. I want to believe it's Stefano, but at the same time, I'm not 100% sure. It might be Hafiz, but it has to be somebody from that side she's putting down.
It's either Pino, Floozy, or Stefano.
I mean, it could be Floozy, but I'm gonna,
or it could be the broker.
Oh, you're right. I didn't even think about that. That's right. Now that makes logical sense. That it's probably the broker.
It's the broker.
But at the same time, I feel like she wouldn't put down the broker, because if she put down the broker, that would just turn up more heat on her.
That's true.
So I'm leaning.
Who else is she gonna be able to get this close to out of her ops? She got a lot of ops right now.
Yeah.
Maybe Flossie.
Maybe Flossie. But no, we see Juke having a conversation with Flossie.
Yeah,
so
we see Juke have a conversation, which I'm
but
still
when?
Yeah, that's true. When is always a factor.
But
is this one of Stefano's workers? Is this Stefano worker that always watch him all the time?
It could be.
Could be.
It could be. It could be for sure. I'm just very. Once we get
the TV in the background throws me off, because it makes me feel like it's somebody at home.
Yeah, it's definitely somebody
at home.
It's somebody at home. It's somebody at home.
When I first saw the TV, I was trying to see if it was.
I'm looking at the drapes and the.
I was trying to see
art
if it
painting. You know, it's a YT. You know, it's a YT person. You know, it's a YT.
But once Stars drop the pics, then I can get more of who this is.
Nah, that ain't Flossie's place. Flossie's place was like a high rise, a penthouse. Yeah. This look like a house.
This is like a house.
Yeah. And that
Good
green,
point.
I was
I'm
trying to
thinking,
go back and look and see who else had that wallpaper or that paint, that
but
color
that's the
paint in
thing
their
though. Like
home.
we never saw because even in Stefano's house, we only saw the living room.
The living
Pino,
room, yeah.
she only met in
The
the
restaurant
in the restaurant, and then Flossie, we only saw her meeting Flossie
in the
in
living room
in the
too.
living room. So it's
Yep.
like that's why I'm just so confused. But
Well, we know who it's not. We know that it's not Tremont.
yeah,
We know that it's not Breeze. So I mean, by our process of elimination of who we know is not, is I have to wait for the pictures to
yeah,
drop.
that's what I said.
Now this could be Kanan meeting with either Breeze or Juke because that's their normal meetup spot is at that diner. This looked like Kanan's at that diner.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's where he met up with Juke, and that's where he found out that Juke was the one that took him out.
That took out Snap and
Snaps and
Pop.
Yeah,
I feel like this is where he's finding out that Snap and Pop got put down too.
Mhm.
Yep. And this also probably makes him feel like, oh shit, I put Marvin down for nothing. Now Snap and Pop gone.
Mhm.
This Rock telling her lawyer again in the preview, she mentioned about everything she had, everything she thought she had is now all gone. I received this as Rock taking this deal or telling the lawyer that I'm going to take this deal or to go ahead and tell them I'll take this deal. Why else would she be meeting back with the lawyer if she's not going to take the deal? I think that she's still going to try to take out some of her enemies even after she takes this deal. But I think that she cool with Pino and Floozy getting locked up, but she wants Stefano in the ground. She's not going to let Stefano
I can see
go to
that.
jail.
See, this scene right here is what make me think. Hold on. No, I don't think she got on the same.
This look more like.
See,
Yeah,
okay.
that's too
So
different.
this is the scene that makes me think is, as Retro say, Floozy is the one she takes out because this is outside of Floozy's crib, and she has on the exact same outfit right here, where she goes to unalive somebody. Got the same.
And that other one, when she's speaking to the lawyer, she got on the same exact outfit she had on in this episode. So she's still a little disoriented.
So that's at the beginning of this episode then. So that conversation with the lawyer is probably going to be at the beginning.
Yeah, it got to be because the same. Look at the
Well,
jacket. Look at her hair.
all she does is have the jacket on. We don't know what
Look
she
at
has
her
on.
hair.
Nah,
how
but her
it's
jacket's
kinda-
different. Look at the jacket.
She just has
That
a
jacket is the
lawyer.
same from this one.
Yeah,
Look
she
at
has
her
it,
neck.
but she just has it closed up versus
Nah.
open right here.
Nah, but I'm saying though, look at the neck. Like, remember, this looked like the jacket that she had on when she was meeting with Flossie in the park.
Yeah, same jacket she had on this
It is,
episode.
but look at her hair.
But this jacket right here that she has on right here is totally different.
I think it's the same jacket. It's just open versus
Nah,
being
hold on.
closed.
Hold on. We about to dissect real quick. Hold on. Okay, you see that? See this?
And it's zipped up.
No, but this is what I'm saying though. Look how it's zipped up. You see how it's zipped up, right? It's almost like a whole V-neck. So if we go back to this scene right here, where she is, where she's whatchamacallit. Hold on, let me see. Oh, went too far. Look at the difference in the style in the jacket. This is the
jacket that she normally wears. This is the jacket that she normally wears.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It will have to zip up in the middle. That joint zipped up on the side.
Yeah, that's two different jackets.
Yeah, that's two different jackets. So that's what makes me think this is Flossie right here because remember, we saw her and Marvin talking outside of these apartments right here. I mean, it could be wrong. She might have went back to Flossie to try to talk to her about, because we do know in the same joint she goes and meets with Stefano again.
Let's see what she has on when we get to that scene.
So, but I'm very curious as to why Flossie meets with Juke.
Maybe to get some information about Marvin.
Or why Juke, or maybe she went to go tell Flossie that Marvin is gone.
Could be because maybe she know they was close and they was always talking. That's the only reason I
Or
could
it could
see.
be vice versa. where that Flossie finds out about Marvin being unalive and know that, about Juke.
Well, remember what she told Marvin this season to bet it all on Juke.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's a message for Flossie for some reason in Marvin's letter, or maybe Marvin's letter directs her to go to Flossie for a particular reason. I don't know. The only thing I could think that she's going to is to maybe try to see if she can throw in with Flossie and try to see if she can start her operation through her prostitutes. I don't know. There's a reason she's being directed to Floozy's doorstep.
Yeah. I'm curious about this too.
Oh, that's Breeze putting down Geo Metro boys.
Oh, yep.
That's Breeze putting down them Geo
I didn't
Metro
even think about
boys.
that. Yep, you're right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show you why. Go to the next one. That right there is their little car. That's their little car. That's Breeze.
Oh, the car right there. I was thinking that was his
car.
Yep. You know what? You're right. I was thinking that was I was thinking that was his Porsche.
Nah, that's the little Geo Metro.
Okay.
That's Breeze putting down the little Geo Metro boys.
That makes 100% right
So
there.
they can't talk no more.
Yep.
This conversation with Marvin, with Rock at the grave with her siblings and her mama, I think this is when Rock is finally going to admit that she was wrong, but it's too late. Ain't nobody there to hear it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think that Marvin gone, really gonna hear her. Really gonna hurt her.
I'm curious about this scene right here, who Juke is even looking at. Cause she watching somebody, or she talking to somebody.
You're probably watching Kanan. Or either she meet with that damn oh my God, I hope it's not that worrisome ass Aisha coming to offer her condolences. Could be Agent Tanner.
Could be Garcia.
Could be Garcia. Yep.
Could be.
It's somebody checking on her and checking her temperature. Is what I think. It's somebody checking on her to make sure that she's not finna go out here and do nothing crazy behind what happened to Marvin. It's somebody checking on her like that. Could be Rock.
Okay.
Could be Kanan. For these two to be in bed, one of them need to go. This is why I'm not mad at her snitching on them. Because Pino, you just had Rock back. And now you turning on her already, talking about hurry up and put her down. Hurry up and put her down. I'm saying hurry up and tell on them so they can lock y'all the fuck up. Like, yo, they're not loyal to her, but y'all expect her to be loyal to them because she's loyal to the game.
No. She didn't tell on him. I mean, they didn't tell on him.
Shit, they might as well. They're trying to put a bullet in her head.
That's might as well.
Man, tell on these YT men and send their ass to federal prison.
These yogurt folks.
Man, get them up out of here. Pack them up.
I'm curious.
Dirt bad for Pino and Stefano.
I'm curious who she meets right here.
Could it be the therapist again?
Could have been.
Could she be back at the therapist again? Is this her coming to process feelings about what's happened to Marvin? Is this her finding out about Marvin? Is this her meeting with the police again?
Could be coming to look at the body.
Or she could be coming to identify the body, look at the body, making funeral arrangements. Or it could be meeting with the feds.
Also could be looking at the body in the casket.
Could be.
Like I said, y'all pay attention.
The background is different from when Kanan looks at it, but could be a different spot, different time that she's looking at it before the body gets brought out.
See the same earrings and that coat open. So, see, this is the scene. I'm wondering. I think here she's looking at Pino.
Begging. Or Pino comes in and like, what are you doing here type situation. And she realized that all of them in cahoots. Mm-hmm. This is what I feel like motivates her to go and tell on them when she finds out that they're all in cahoots together against her.
I can see that. And now that you said that, like like what you said earlier, she takes out Stefano and then like she snitched on Pino. I wouldn't be mad at that. Because like, you know what I'm saying? Although she's still in the game, I ain't saying snitch, but at the same time, I wouldn't be mad at that. But when she realized it, like, oh, all of y'all are up against me, like, I can see why she would take the deal. No, Haley, the earrings not different. Look at the earrings right here, and then we go back again to a certain. Oh damn, she right. The earrings are different. My bad. I'm thinking of this
They're
picture right
different
here.
right there in that scene.
Yeah,
Let me
earrings
ask you
are.
something though. Do y'all think Kanan would deal with her, or I understand, because Power came out beforehand. You remember when he would just say, when he said, "I wanted to go see my mom's, I wanted to go check on my mom's or something like that," in the original Power. Do you think if she snitches, that he would still go and see her or even make that comment?
Nah.
He don't care. He love his mama. He love his mama right, wrong, or indifferent. He just doesn't want to admit it. But at the end of the day, he love his mama. But again, I go back to the fact that those were throwaway scenes at that time.
Yeah.
Those were just throwaway lines. I'm not saying throwaway scenes, but just throwaway lines. Just, and then at the end of the day, look at the character that those lines are coming from. Kanan, the biggest fucking liar we know. Anything
That's
that come
true.
out of his mouth, we don't know if it's true or not. So
That's
just
true, but
because
I
he
would hope.
said it doesn't necessarily mean it's true, because at that time, keep in mind, he was playing Ghost and Tommy to the left anyway. So he might have said that he went to go see his mom, but we know that's not what he went to go do. We know that's not what he went to go do. We know that he was plotting with Sean and Dre to take out Ghost. He went to go see he was trying to find pink sneakers. So we know that what he said he went and did is not actually what he went and did. So I always look at that. People always go back to that scene, but I look at that scene as that wasn't what the character did anyway. If you go back and watch that episode, when Kanan first got out of jail, he was plotting and scheming on trying to get the pink sneakers so he can unalive her before Ghost and Tommy found out about her. So even though he told Ghost and Tommy that he went to go see his mother in that scene, we know that's not what he went and did. We know that he was plotting and scheming.
That's true, but at the same time, you would think that the writers for this would piggyback off of that, because they already know people like us and other people that's known for the Power Universe is going to try to connect the dots and going to point, you know what I'm saying, like going to point out like, oh, that's not what they, that's not what they said in the OG Power, like, you know what I'm saying, that different type of stuff. So I would think
if they're completely referencing the OG source material, yes, but keep in mind that each showrunner kind of wants to do things their own way. So I just don't know how they're going to tie all that back together. Yes, I think she already knows that they are against her, but I think seeing them all in the same room together is going to hit harder than her already knowing that they throwing in against her. And it's going to be unexpected to see Pino walk in, because in this scene right here, we know that Stefano and Pino meet up together. So I think this is the aftermath of this conversation right here, because this is the aftermath of this conversation right here. When Rock sees Pino walk in, she leaves. And I think this is why he says, hurry up and get rid of her. In this scene right here, he says, hurry up and gets rid of her. I think this is after Rock leaves. And this is after she sees that Pino shows up as well. So she realizes, once again, it's just reminding her that everybody's against her. Why stay loyal? Why stay loyal to people? Why stay loyal to people that are trying to put you in the ground?
Yo, appreciate it, Lamar.
Thank you, Lamar. Appreciate that, brother. It could mean a grave, but I don't know. I don't know how they're going to tie all this together. But I'm more so concerned with how they're going to tie the Kanan and Jukebox relationship together in OG Power than that one-off comment he made about his mother in OG Power in season 2. That to me requires less explanation than it does with Jukebox driving down to New York to help him heal him from his wounds and let him fuck on her girlfriend and all this stuff. That needs more explanation for me than this. Who's Stefano talking to right here? Breeze again? It's a colored person that he talking to. It looked like a colored person.
Breeze. I don't know who that is.
It's a colored person he talking to.
That's for sure. I don't know who it is. I freeze frame it and can't tell who he talking to.
We'll get that when them pictures drop.
Yeah.
It looks
And
like
I
they
hope
got a bald
stars.
head too, right?
Yeah, it look like they got a bald head. I'm trying to think
Mhm.
about who that is. Or this could be Stefano and his shenanigans. It could be whoever this overseas buyer is that setting Rock up. Stefano could be the orchestrator behind it,
Yeah.
not realizing that he just sealed his own fate by putting a charge on Rock. Now she gonna tell on you. See, he don't know that the feds have offered Rock get out of jail. I mean, we've seen Stefano orchestrate all kind of threats for Rock all throughout the season, so it's not as far fetched to think that Stefano could be behind whoever this overseas buyer is. I don't know who he could be meeting with other than Breeze. Who else do we know to have a bald head?
Maybe it's a new character that's gonna spin off into
Oh,
Origins.
I hate that. The last episode, this was Juke reading that letter.
Mm-hmm.
And this is how I know that the letter that is online is not the same letter, because the ridges on the side of the paper is
Totally
not
different.
in that letter. Yeah, it's totally different. So we obviously see that the pastor did what Marvin told him to do and give Juke the suitcase, and she's reading that letter. And I think that letter is going to tell her exactly what he wishes for her to do.
Yep.
This is the infamous conversation between Rock and Kanan, where Rock is pleading for Kanan to forgive her. She's probably going to finally apologize to him about everything that's happened. She in tears, and she through. And Kanan tells her that we can't fix all the wrong that's between us. I think though here, even though he says that, I think here they do come up with some kind of truce. Rock may
Also,
not walk away from this conversation thinking that they've come up with a truce, but I think Kanan makes a decision within himself at this point that he's gonna save his mama. He just
that
gonna
and
tell her
also, like I
that
said, I think right here is where she also gonna find out that it was
him that put Marvin
that
down.
put Marvin down.
I can see that. Or
Because
maybe
like
she asked him. Maybe she asked him, "Did you put Marvin down?"
because that's the only reason why I can see why that's the only reason why I can see that she would be in tears.
She's
Like,
in tears because she loves her son and her son hates her. That's what she's in tears.
well,
over.
yeah, but I mean, at the same time, I think it's also because like she's hurt because she's found out like, yo, my son done put down both my brothers. So
Yeah.
I think that's what it's just gonna hit her. Like, yo,
Yeah.
we're all that's left along with Juke. Like, we gotta squash this and let's move forward as a family. So that's what I'm thinking is what's gonna come out that combo.
It does seem like they have a contentious relationship in OG Power, but the fact that she would help him in any way, shape, form, or fashion, help him get his get back with Ghost, help him with bringing him back to life, healing him, and the fact that she allowed him to be part of her caper, it doesn't feel like Jukebox would do those things for him. It doesn't feel like she would forgave him for Marvin. I feel like the beef that they have with them currently, she would still do these things for Kim. But if she knew that he had anything to do with her dad getting put down, she would not help Kanan in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It would be the opposite.
Yeah.
And that's the part I'm having a hard time understanding. As suspicious as she has been of everybody and everything about Famous, you don't think that she would be on this witch hunt the same about Marvin? Unless Marvin's letter tells her not to retaliate against, or not to spend all of her time obsessed with who put him down. Let it go.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. So that is our review. We knew that this was going to be a long one for us. We knew that we had a lot of things to talk about in this one. This was a really emotional episode for us. This was a very difficult episode for us at the same time, because we have to live through the fact that Kanan has now put down yet another member of his family, and not knowing what he's going to end up doing with Rock next week is well, we know he's not going to put Rock down. So, all right, fellas, any final predictions for next week?
Nah, man, I gotta see more. I can't give it to. I see more till I see the picks. I can't give nothing else.
All right, agreed. So come on back when we drop our episode prediction, whenever stars drop the pictures. So if y'all be waiting for our predictions, it's because we wait for stars to drop the pictures. We don't go get them off of nobody else's channel. We don't get them off of the internet. We wait till they drop into our media room account, and once they drop in our media room account, then we make our own predictions based off of what we view the pictures as. We don't go steal them from anyone else or look at anyone else's predictions. We come up with our own theories. So that's why our videos are a little bit late coming out on our predictions, because we want to look at the pictures and study them ourselves and see what we come up with. So we'll see. Stars might play games with us this week, though. They might not wait till Tuesday, Wednesday to drop the damn pictures, but hopefully they'll drop them first
Thursday. Remember they did that with Force at one time.
Yeah, maybe they'll drop them at noon tomorrow like they originally do. And for those of you who are looking for a review on Fightland, we're gonna put one out for Fightland. We watched Fightland, so I think it's pretty good. I think we got something here with Fightland, so we'll see what we'll do with it. So right now we got to get out of Raising Kanan mode before we switch to a new show. So look for our review for Fightland real soon. We are gonna go ahead and drop that. And for those of you who are Marvel characters, come back and see our review for X-Men 97. And we will be doing Spider-Man Brand New Day. So we just went and saw the movie this weekend. We got a lot to talk about with it. So me and OG Bobby will drop our review later this week on it. So come on back to the channel. Those of you who are not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that like button, hype button on your way out. And we'll see you guys next week.